for what? Vasco for 2 years or 2 years?
Two, then they go to high school. They go for 7th and 8th.
Okay, let's leave that
You know, some of them
there.
are ready to go to high school, but some of them ain't. So they should go back to the way it used to be: 7th, 8th, and 9th in the middle school, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th in high school. Some kids are ready, some kids ain't. But you're growing up, James.
I think what it boils down to is the environment that they're all in. I mean, some of the things that these kids tell you.
We're leaving breakfast in the one girl's walking down the street with her kid. She's carrying her. Then she starts, "Mother, not to be here. Here, this is the old 2 years old." And she's, this, that. I ain't carrying you.
Who am I? Am I not unique? Maybe I'm not here at all. But the figures find it as with lies to break us all. Oh, it's useless. What could it mean to wake here? What does it all mean? Can we make a difference? If we don't break out of here, wake up, get up there. Raise your voice, I guess, like yours. Feed your anger like fire. Why does nobody want change? Just imagine you're out there, swatting lights in a maker. Can't move fast without breaking. If you hold on tight, won't change.
City is going more Buffalo's hurt. Now Buffalo might have raised taxes. Now they're starting to catch up to that. Look, you can see they're not they're the Indians are laughing.
You don't get no.
That's not the right one. That's the right one, right?
But see,
Yeah.
they're scared to do it because they don't want to
Okay.
upset that. But now that they did that,
All right, here we go.
If they cut off the money, I would have said, okay, you better call the state and find out what troopers and what state volunteer fire company is taking care of you. Whatever.
Something was different just now. Did it not pop up the you can't take snapshots anymore?
Box set up outside, you can catch all the
Hold the
dogs leaving.
phone here. Oh my god. They took the screenshotting function block off. It's like Christmas has come again. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Persona 5 the Stream Edition. Last time, we all had the mindset of one thing and one thing only, Hawaii, even as we were going here into Mementos to take care of a bunch of requests. We did a couple of them last time, and this time we're going to take care of a couple more. But before we go ahead and do that, I would like to show a could use. So we currently have Sandman set up, right, for being able to do Pulinpa and stuff on the bosses and everything like that. The only problem is that a lot of the bosses that we're going to be doing any money grinding from that are vulnerable to being confused are very physically oriented, and Sandman doesn't have any kind of physical resistance, so sometimes you'll need to bring in another person to help you, like with that boss fight that we did for Kawakami's confidant there. We needed Anne in there, not only to help us, take care of the non-Pulinpa portion of the boss, but also to heal us when need be. And that just sort of sucks, so I came up with an alternate solution, although it is a bit roundabout. I'll just give you the general gist of how it works here. Can I do it right now? Let's see. have a bunch of personas here, and I don't have the ones that I need in order to do these fusions. But basically, the way that I did it was that I made a bunch of fusions that eventually resulted in a Shikioji that had a bunch of different skills that would help with confusing bosses, including Ambient Aid, Confuse Boost, all of that stuff, as well as Null Nuke, because it's weak to Nuke, and then, yeah, it just sort of goes from there. I would need an Inagami, a Black Ooze, and I have Suzaku, and an Andras. Okay. So I need to get rid of 3 personas for that to work. Alright, that works. What can I get rid of here? Bicorn, definitely. Yaxini, probably. And I don't know, Neko Shogun, maybe? Well, I could get rid of Sandman, because that would basically give you the idea. I'm just going to show off the fusions, and I'm going to reload my save so that I can kind of just go from there. On the actual file where I'm done with all of the Mementos requests for today, the one that I did the money grinding on already, I actually created a Shikioji that is the example that I want to give. So I'm going to kind of show you what I did with the fusing, and then I used the Gallows after that. But I'll give you a general gist of what I did first, and then after I'm done with that, I'll reload my save, and we'll go do the rest of the Path of Kaitul, and then into the following path after that, because we have a request that is not on the Path of Kaitul, so we'll have to go from there.
How goes?
So
I'd like to read the
I
compendium.
need,
You want to register it? Are you
I
sure?
don't know why these are registerable, but okay. I
Right
need,
here.
Black Ooze. So basically what I said was I'm going to look for things that I can fuse that have Confuse Boost, Pulin Patentarafu, and Ambient Aid on them. As it turns out, Black Ooze here has Ambient Aid and Tentarafu, so let's summon him. And then Inagami from long ago has
Is this
Confuse
what you
Boost
want?
and Pulin
A fee is
So
required.
I says,
This
well, what
is
do I get if I
required.
fuse these two together? And that was where I came up with the eventual concept of getting them to be a Shikioji.
This persona?
But I'll show you what else I did before I did that. I need this Andras as well to eventually fuse it into that.
Done already.
So let's do this, because in order to get 4 skills onto the Shikioji, I need to give Andras a couple of throwaway skills, because you need at least 12 skills between the 2 personas that you're fusing in order to be able to put 4 skills on the resulting persona. So let's just give Andras a couple of crap skills like Dormina and Dia, and then that is all we need right there. And we'll reorganize it, we'll register that in the compendium, and then we'll go from there. That can go like that. I'll register the Andras, and then we'll go from there.
Your turn,
Hey
Caroline.
Dudbun, how's it going? Oops, wrong one.
Justine, register. Are you sure?
Let's do that. So, now, basically, like I said, I looked at it and I said, well, what happens if I fuse Inagami with Black Ooze so that I can get all of the confused skills that I have on the same persona? Turns out you get a Rakshasa out of that, which is decent. It's a good strength persona, and you can pass all of the confused skills onto him. So that's pretty much all I cared about. So I passed Pulimpa and Tentarafu off to him, along with Ambient Aid and
It
Confused
will
Boost.
receive significant
Pretty good, Dudbun, pretty good. Pretty good, doing well. A little tired, but that's because I've been up since 6 a.m. for work, so. But I took a cat nap before I started, so I should be all good to go.
Girls,
Full steam ahead
let us
with
begin.
occasional bouts of yawning. Anyway, we make this Rakshasa. He'll gain a few levels and a couple of decent skills out of the whole deal here.
Okay.
Like Regenerate 1 and Mind Slice. Yeah, working weekend sucks, but it's better than my old job. My old job was also a customer service job. It was in retail though, instead of in a credit union. And I was working basically every Saturday, not like 9 to 6 and, you know, those sorts of shifts where it's like 9 hours every single Saturday because those were our busiest days and that's when I needed the most help. So compared to that, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work until 12 o'clock, I'll take it, you know, like that's cake compared to anything else that I've done in the past. I can't complain too much. So, and then let's put Counter-Strike right here. So he gets a couple of good skills that you can pass along. The most important one is Regenerate 1 there, and then he's got a couple of decent physical skills. But this is a pretty good moveset, all things considered, and he's strong against physical attacks, so he's not too bad of a confuser, but he can still take damage from physical skills, and because of that, we need to go even deeper with it. So let me just organize his skills real quick, and then I will show you step 2 of 3 to figure this whole thing out. So let's do this. We'll keep those there, put that there, that there. Ambient aid, fuse boost can go down here. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we'll register the Rakshasa. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. One every other. Well, that's not bad then. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
You'd like to read
That's bearable.
You'd like to register this?
Of course, then you get to the week where it's happening, and you're like, oh god, it's that Saturday. But I think that's bearable. I'd take that too.
The inmate needs our guidance.
But anyway, the next thing that I wanted to do in order to make our ultimate confusing Shiki-Oji was I said, well, I need to get an ability to nullify his weaknesses on there somehow. So I said, what can I do to do that? And as it turns out, if you fuse the Rakshasa with the Suzaku, you get our old pal Suiki, proving his worth once again here. But what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to take the Suiki that we have in here, and I'm actually going to lock him in because I like his skill set that we have here better than the one that we're going to get out of all of this fusing that we're doing. Now, the only problem with this is that, of course, you can't get all of the skills that I might want to put on Suiki onto him, because there's not only Defense and Speedmaster, which I kind of wanted to pass along, but there's also Pyulinpa Tentarafu, Ambient Aid, Regenerate 1, Confuse Boost. There's a lot that you can pass along to Suiki there. So, what I want to do is I want to pass along the things that basically aren't ones that that I can directly benefit from while having on Shiki-Oji. So if I pass along, let's see, because I'm gonna basically move all 4 of these skills over to Shiki-Oji. No, I'm gonna move Null Nuke instead of whatever other skill. So basically what you want to do is you want to make a Shiki-Oji with Null Nuke, Defense Master, Speed Master, and Regenerate 1. And then we would use the Gallows to strengthen the Shiki-Oji with Rakshasa, but I'll show that off in a minute. First, let's do
Choose
this.
the inherited skills, inmate.
You're on the early shift for that? Okay, gotcha. Well, that's okay, man. I appreciate you coming out to the streams that you can catch. That's cool. Not a problem. I completely understand. So let's pass along. Let's see, for Suiki, we'll do Counter-Strike, Regen 1, Defense Master, Speed
will
Master.
receive some new power.
That seems good.
I
Let's
see.
do that. So now we have a different Suiki from the one that we had. Don't worry, because we're not going to keep this one for very long. You could register this one to the compendium by fusing it like that and not locking the old one, but I'd like to keep the old one because it has Mabufula, so. We get Null Nuke. I don't need Wage War, so we're just going to get rid of that. And there's Mabufula, but we don't need that either. But the most important skill that we can get out of Suiki here is Null Nuke, because Shiki-Oji is weak to nuclear skills. Excuse me. And by passing Null Nuke over to him, we completely negate any weaknesses that he has. So,
Done already?
let me just arrange Suiki's skills here before we go ahead and do step 3 of 3. Well, actually, it's technically 3 of 4 if you want to be technical about it. That. How about we do that? There we go. So yeah, there's a Suiki with no real weaknesses and some powerful resistances there. Like I said, he's a pretty good persona. The only problem, of course, being that he comes at a time when you'll basically always have Yusuke in your party anyway, because a lot of the personas in Futaba's Palace are weak to ice anyway, so having Yusuke is kind of valuable. But anyway, yeah, so we make the Sui Key, and it has all the decent passive skills on it. And I'm not going to register it, obviously, because I
Time for some
have the other one
rehabilitation
locked in.
execution.
So, now we fuse the Sui Key with Andras, and we can make
Will this truly
our
help
more
me?
ultimate Shikioji there. If you want, you can kind of scum it along so that you only get like as much luck as possible. Like you could save right before it and then get as much luck as possible out of this. But
Choose the
I'm not going to be
inherited
too
skills
worried about it
innate.
because I Shikioji fused on the file where I did all of the mementos money grinding and stuff. So this is just for demonstration purposes, so I don't need to worry about it that much. But we want to pass along Null Nuke, Generate 1, Defense Master, and Speed
It will
Master.
receive extraordinary power.
Now this may be like, okay, well wait, MCR, why are you, I don't understand how you're gonna get Pilinpan Tentara Fu over to him. Well, there's a fourth step to this, and I'll show you what that fourth step is in just a moment. Once we actually get our new Shikioji there.
Okay.
Okay, well we got some decent luck out of that, so that's good. Dekaja, I could get rid of Taunt for Dekaja, that's fine. And Sayo, yeah, we'll get rid of Snap for Sayo, excuse me. Okay, so now you have the base lined up, and it has 4 out of the 8 skills that we want total on it there. And the skills that are missing are, incidentally, the ones that Rakshasa still has on it there. So the fourth step out of all of this, we need to arrange Shikioji skills here. And then, once we're done with that, we can start getting all of Rakshasa's skills onto him. So Null Nuke is going to be here. Basically, it's going to end up, the ultimate list of this is going to end up being Pilinpa Tentara Fu, Ambient Aid, Null Nuke, Confuse Boost, Regenerate 1, Defense Master, and Speed Master. I actually posted a picture of the one that I got on my Twitter last night, so it'll give you an idea. And once we get done with all the Memento stuff today, I'll show you the result of my labor, quote-unquote, when we're done. But first things first, let's go and register the Shikioji. We'll buy our Rakshasa back, and then
You'd like to read the
I kind of
components
showed
of
off
it,
how
are you
how the Gallows strengthening works previously, so that was more like Gallows 101, the basics to it.
Read here.
This is more like Gallows 102, where you take what you know about the Gallows and strengthening, and you use it in order to create a custom persona that has all of the skills that you could possibly want on it. So, let's go grab our Rakshasa. Where'd he go? There it is.
Is this what you'll withdraw this for this is your power?
Because it has Ambient Aid, Confuse Boost, Pilinpan Tentara Fu on it. You go over here to strengthen, take Shikioji, you strengthen it with Rakshasa.
That'll do.
A look of confusion and fear crossed your face. Well, it's a good persona to have if you're gonna ever play the game. Trust me, it definitely makes a difference. So basically what you want to do is you want to keep going back and forth like this until Shikioji gets luck out of the level. Now I kind of scummed it a little bit so that I had as much luck as possible. I would get like I would definitely go for at least 2 points of luck per level, because you don't actually need strength or magic for the setup that I'm going to have going on here, because none of his skills benefit from either strength or magic there. It's just a bunch of passive skills, and then status ailments would have a set chance of hitting anyway. So
This is what it shall become through execution.
this isn't exactly what you want, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Then let us begin.
And strengthen him with Rakshasa. Hopefully I get a skill that I actually need out of it. We'll see. But you can pass along all the skills that you need, including Pilinpan Tentara Fu.
All right.
He'll learn Onikagura, but we don't need that, so let's get rid of it. And then the Inherit, he gets Tentara Fu. So yeah, basically you just pass Pilinpa Tentara Fu, Ambient Aid, and Confuse Boost over to him. And each time that you pass a skill from Rakshasa over on Shikioji, because they both know have very similar skill sets, and they both know similar skills, it's easier and easier as you go in order to pass along just the skill that you want there. Granted, you will occasionally get stuff like Mind Slice or Giant Slice or that sort of a thing, but it's eventually after a little bit of reloading, you'll get what you want. But yeah, that's basically it. You just keep strengthening Shikioji. Now, as you may recall, you can only strengthen these personas once per day. But what you can do after you're done, so you can register it, just like pretend I registered in the compendium there. Or actually, you know what, I'll do it. I'll just show you how to do it.
You
So, once you get the skills all arranged, you just register it in the compendium just like that.
Are you finished?
Then, if you have enough money, which this is where most of the money that we have would end up going eventually, and it's where some of the money that I grinded up from the previous, like on the file that's done already, it's where most of that money went. Well, not most of the money. I don't want to make it sound like I used millions of yen. I probably used a solid 150,000 yen to get the Shikioji to where I wanted, but basically what you do, if you want to do it all in the same day, you could do it, you know, one day at a time, where you just go to the Velvet Room each day and then you infuse it and then you get another skill and then you save it and you're good from there. Or you could delete the Shikioji, buy it back from the compendium here, buy another Rakshasa, and then just keep fusing it over and over and over again to get the God Mode Shikioji that we wanted. So, hey Conquer, how's it going? Yes, that's exactly the point there, Deadbun, is that if you found a specific persona from the early game that you kind of want to use into the later game, you can actually do that. You can just keep strengthening it over the course of the game in order to infuse it with a custom skill set, and then if you want to use it the entire game, like let's say you wanted to use Arsene through the entire game, which is, you know, what some people do. It's, you know, it's something that you can do. You could use any one of the personas from the beginning of the game. All you got to do is strengthen them using the gallows, get extra skills on them, and then you're good to go. But yeah, so basically, my method that I did when I made the God Mode Shikioji that I made yesterday while I was dicking around, you get a new skill in the Shikioji, register it in the compendium, you delete it from your stock, you go back and buy another Rakshasa and another Shikioji, and obviously this is where a lot of the money went, because I'm spending like 20,000 yen to do this each time. Then you strengthen them over and over again, just like this, because when you buy it back from the compendium, it hasn't been strengthened yet, quote unquote, for today. So you just do this and this, and eventually go from there. Yeah, it's a good idea. Like I said, if you're going to use a lower leveled persona there in order to keep them, and it's like you said, to keep them up to date, you'll want to use the strengthening feature over the course of the game once you get access to it. So, like, let's say you wanted to use Arsene through the game. Until you got access to the Gallows, he'd be a little bit weak because he'd probably only be able to get stronger from level ups, but then you could kind of level him up yourself by strengthening him with other personas, get him new skills, and go from there. So yeah, it's a little exploit. It's kind of like my money grinding there, but this will aid us in money grinding by doing this. So I'm just demonstrating it though at this point. I already did all of the work off screen with the other file that's already done with the money grinding, and I'll show you the results of my labor over there, because after this I'm going to reload the save file from before, so he's not missing any money. And then he'll inherit another one. Okay, so he got Giant Slice that time, and that's fine. You just delete that skill from there. Or you could put the skill onto him. Like, let's say I deleted Sayo there for Giant Slice. Now there's no chance of me getting Giant Slice again because I already have it, so then you'll get a different skill. And you just keep doing that over and over again until you get all the skills that you want on Shikioji. So that's basically what I did yesterday.
It is time, inmate.
In order to make a Shikioji that would basically make it so much simpler for us to do money grinding later on in the game that it's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I was basically doing there, Conquer, was getting Pulinpa and Tentara Fu, along with Confuse Boost and Ambient Aid on Shikioji. And I fused that Rakshasa that we had over there with those skills explicitly so that I could eventually load them all onto him. Like I said, on this file, which is the one where the money grinding is done, I actually have the Shikioji with all of the skills that I want, so when we're done today with all of the other Mementos requests and we get down to the bottom, I will load the save file up and I'll show you what it can look like when you do that little exploit over and over again to get it all where you want it. But for now, we've got other stuff to do, so let's reload this save. Now that I demonstrated what I did, we'll reload this save. I'm not going to worry about getting Shikioji for now. We'll get him later. For now, let's actually continue through the path of Kaitul all the way down further into Mementos there. Hey, Carbon, how's it going? Sorry. Almost got you and Conquer confused there, my bad. But anyway, let's go back down to the bottom of the Path of Chemda. And then we will go into Kaitul further to take care of the other quests that we have here. So we've still got these 4. This is the ones on the next path past Kaitul, but these 3 will all be done by the time we're done in Kaitul. And on the ones that are on Kaitul Floor 5 and Kaitul Floor 10 are the ones that you can do Pulin Pot grinding there. So we'll get to those. But let's actually get to them first before we start worrying about that. How's everybody doing on experience here? So you're fine. Yusuke is a little behind Ryuji, but not by much. And Makoto is about, what, 300? Yeah, 300 experience behind him. That's fine. Alright, so let's head down. Yeah, Conquer. It's really just kind of up to you at this point. I personally prefer to kind of get gather up a whole bunch of the different requests that I have. Like, we had 6 requests to do for today. I personally prefer to gather a whole bunch of them together later in the game when you've got a lot of confidants to do, and then go to Mementos. If your Temperance Confidant is close to being maxed, I would actually recommend that you... I'm going to actually just teleport straight to Kaitul Area 2 because we were already here in Area 1 previously. I don't really honestly care what's in that chest. But yeah, you could totally... I would save up some stuff for that if possible. Carbon, thanks for the 5 bits there. Did it show a thing there for it? I didn't see if there was a pop-up for it. Hang on. That's why volume was muted again, sorry. Okay. I missed the pop-up, my bad. But yeah, you could, it showed on screen. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad. I wasn't even looking that way, unfortunately, so. What was I saying? But yeah, if your Temperance is close to rank 10 there, Conquer, I would definitely recommend, getting that first before you do the Mementos request, because once you get it to rank 10, you'll get an ability that will make it a lot easier to go do Mementos stuff whenever you feel like it, so. Well, thanks, Carbon. I appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you got your little due diligence there. Is he still following me? Yep. Oh god, hang on. I was trying to get around behind him, but it didn't exactly work out. And here we have a new guy. It's called Gathering Devil here, but his name is actually Charanzan. So, let's see. Both of these guys are weak to bless skills, and they're both capable of using fire skills, if I remember right. Does he have? Yeah. So, Yusuke, you should probably just guard. Probably consider and dealing with all of that. So, let's try to get over to Joker's turn, if we can. Just try to knock them down, I guess. You're next, right? Okay. Let's hold off. Okay, that's fine. And now, we'll go and use Mitra to knock them over. Yes, Kawakami there, yep. Just got the request the other day. Then I would recommend going to Mementos, to be honest with you, and doing that request as soon as possible. Because, like I said, once you get her to rank 10, you gain a really good ability that allows you to go to Mementos and still do Confidants at nighttime, basically. So it makes it a little easier to do that later on.
Keep it up and focus.
So I would recommend doing that if possible. But anyway, let's continue on the path through the path of Kaitul. And see what we can find down here in the randomized depths of people's hearts. There's an aluminum sheet. You can actually get aluminum sheets fairly easily on these early floors here. And I think on the next path that we can go to, which is, well, I don't want to say what it is yet. I mean, the name's not going to mean much.
I know it's obvious.
You can get aluminum sheets here, and you can get liquid mercury down there, so that if you wanted to make the Eternal Lockpick, I almost called it a Prismier Lockpick. No, that's a different game. if you wanted to get the Eternal Lockpick, you totally could if you just kind of ran around and grinded for it, basically.
What about the advantage? Don't rush this.
Let's go.
So since we ambushed them, let's just smack them around a little bit. I probably didn't even need to use a physical skill like that, but it's okay.
You took out a shadow. Good stuff.
Don't even need Kuga this time.
Good work, everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
A complete victory. Now let's keep going.
But yeah, I think you can just recycle the treasures that are on each floor that you can grab.
Treasure chest.
If you just go like up and then back down again. Because it'll re-randomize the floor every
What do you
time you
wanna
do
do,
that.
Joker?
So if you want to get aluminum sheets and liquid mercury, you could totally do that. There's another blank card. Cool. I have like 10 of them on the file where all the money grinding is done. So I added a couple of skills to the blank cards that I could use there.
Wind. Sounds like people's voices.
Don't say creepy stuff like that.
So I added a couple of skills that I could get. All of the skills that I put in for cards though, because I'm sort of shifting around one of the personas that I wanted to use in the end game there. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna switch it yet or not, but I'll figure it out. We won't need to worry about that just yet because I probably won't even be fusing that persona for a while, so. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, getting Ryuji and Anne, well, Anne isn't close to rank 10, but getting Ryuji to rank 10 is pretty good. It gets him Evade Wind because he gets his Awakening. Getting Anne and Makoto up will help them because they'll get, if you can get Anne and Makoto maxed out before the Hawaii trip, you can get their skills there. But like I said, if you get to 9-6 before you get them maxed out, I would recommend just going straight to Mementos because you can't actually do anything tonight in-game anyway. There's a story event that happens when we get home that will just prevent you from doing anything right before the Hawaii trip anyway. So... this boat ride, this leisurely river ride that we've got going here. But yeah, so if you get to 9-6 and you haven't done Mementos yet, I would say just go ahead and do it because otherwise you'll just kind of... I mean, you'll be able to get some stuff done during the day, but this is probably... If there's going to be a day that you go to Mementos, today might as well be the day because you couldn't do anything at night anyway. And then you can take care of Kawakami's request, and then eventually you can
Let's go.
get her all maxed out
For
too.
myself as well. Let us move.
Glad you're all excited about going into the depths of hell here. I get the feeling that when Dante did it in Dante's Inferno, he was significantly less excited about
This
it.
darkness makes it so gloomy.
Gotcha,
Perhaps
Conker.
shadows
Gotcha.
prefer this place specifically for that reason.
So yeah, you should be getting fairly close then. But basically, like I said, I would just wait until 9-6 to go to Mementos. I wouldn't go there before then because you probably won't be able to max Kawakami out even if you were to go at the earliest available time now. So I would just
I
wait
found a chest.
until now to do it.
What do you want to do, Joker?
And then you could max out Kawakami once you get back from the Hawaii trip and all the story bits are done. So that's what I'm gonna do anyway. So since we're almost basically on the same page there, that would be my recommendation. But we're just plowing right along through the path of Kaitul here until we have to fight a boss, and then it's going to be a little bit less. The first boss that we have to fight after this is on floor 5. I think it's just before the rest stop too, so that's a little obnoxious, but that's okay. 100 behind still, and about 240 behind. Well, I'm going to use Mediarama because I can, just to top everybody off there. But yeah, I've been switching around some of the personas that I have eyeballed for the late game / end game there. I'll show you what they are eventually once we actually get that far, but we're not there yet, so. Not gonna even try to switch that one, it's fine. Lean on Sheet, why?
Don't worry
I
about
thought we had
it.
something special. I don't know what she... Okay, Sayo, that's fine.
Nice, Joker.
Ha!
Just at the last second.
I hope she doesn't hit Makoto. Maybe you should try to knock one down.
Luna!
Nope.
Aim!
Okay, well, she didn't hit Makoto, so that's fine.
Just as
Good luck. Hope
Ah,
this
Carbon,
helps in
thanks
the
for the 15
future.
more bits. Yeah, it'll help. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we can do this. I'm not unprepared like I was in Kanashiro's bank there.
Joker, take one out!
Actually, if Anne was in the party, it would be a little bit easier. But now I can get an all-out attack this way, and we can get more money!
All out attack!
Bam! Sorry, Leonon Sheed. I don't deal with betrayal well.
Okay. I could have handled that myself.
You probably could, Yusuke. You probably could. So each bit that is contributed to me is 1 US cent there, Dudbun. So if you were to cheer, you are essentially, it's almost like donating money, except it's a little bit more fun, I guess, than doing that. And yes, if I get enough of them, I get paid. Although I think I have to get, like, let's see, 100 bits would be $1, and I need to get $100 in order to get paid. So that means I need 10,000 bits in order to get paid. So we're not getting there anytime soon, but eventually I will. It's part of Twitch's terms of service for affiliates. So it's kind of the way that YouTube's ad revenue works, sort of, as well, is that you don't get a payout from either one until you have $100 stored up from that
Treasure
ad
chest
revenue.
spotted.
So
Must be something good inside.
yeah, that's what that's all about. Whoop, hold on.
It's
I was gonna get around to the side of you, but I got cock blocked by a pillar! What kind of a pillar even does that, man?
They're weak, but don't let your guard down.
I mean, it'll hurt you too, because
Just at the last second.
Counter-Strike came into play. Well, just regular counter, really. Koto's next, okay. Let's just do some damage to the Onis. And then over there. Ah, I could try to flash bomb them to make them dizzy. They resist though, so that's kind of Let's just do Mouth Fry. Gotcha, Carbon. That's good. That helps out. You know, I didn't even think of doing that, to be honest with you. But that's a good way of doing it. Use Bakuga. Send them into next week.
Don't forget this feeling.
Very nice.
Good work, everyone.
Okay.
Oh, and I should mention, by the way,
Good work. Keep it up.
previously, if you missed out on getting any shadows that you missed from other palaces, like let's say you didn't have Oni or something like that, then getting them in Mementos is just as easy as getting them in the palaces there. You just knock them over and then hold them up and have them join your cause, and you're good to go. So it just kind of depends there, Dudbun. I think Twitch does take some off the top for bits. So yes, I think a proper donation would get me more money there, but I'm not sure what the taxes are on the proper donations either. They might tax that just almost as much as they tax the what's it called? The bits there. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, to be honest with you. I didn't look too deeply into it because I honestly wasn't planning on getting that many bits anytime soon, so. There's some Hell Knuckles. Did we already get those last time? Or did I get those in the other file? No, I got them in this file.
Why did it have to be?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys checking that stuff, checking out the ads and stuff.
It suits you very well.
Think of the other people who watch you. I'm sure they appreciate it. That you watch, I should say. I'm sure they all appreciate you doing that. Taking time out of your day to help us out. So. I appreciate it, sincerely.
You said to keep a low profile at school, but nobody talks to me in the first place.
Oh, Yusuke.
Well, wanna go get a beef bowl sometime, man?
That's sad. That's sad as hell. Poor Yusuke. Nobody talks to me in the first place. Oh, God. He's so awkward, man. I love it. There's another aluminum sheet. I don't think I got
Let's
enough.
stroll through the city with no worries. I want to go window shopping.
Where do you learn these terms anyway?
Word on the street. Other cats. Yeah, damn Yusuke. That's sad as hell. Well, you could do that, Morgana, once we turn you back into a human, so maybe we should keep going in here. We'll get closer and closer with each step that we take through Mementos here. I can just barely see where the target is. It's all the way to my left there. So let's go have a look. I think I got like 9 or 10 aluminum sheets total from on the file where all the money grinding's already done. And I got
Joker, there's a treasure
like
chest.
5 liquid mercury, I
Get
think.
more money.
So it's a good start, basically. And obviously we'll get more when we go through the next path in Mementos, because the next path is the one that mirrors Futaba's Palace, so you can find Anubis's there, and you can find Anzu's there, and both of those are the ones that drop aluminum sheets and liquid mercury, so they're helpful.
They're no big deal.
Actually, Morgana will get his turn before we have a problem with these battle fiends, so that's fine. Because they are weak to wind elemental attacks. The ones that people sometimes like say, oh, well, we can play an ad right now, like in the middle of the stream. Are those the ones you're talking about, Carbon? Or I don't think I need to use this Kuga. It's too much power. That's okay, though.
Victory is ours.
Just like I thought.
Couple condenser lenses. I don't really even know what the use of those is, but yeah, whatever. Sure, they have some use. How's that? How are they doing on this? 394, 203, and you had 32, 31. Okay, well, we're getting closer.
Every little helps, right? See.
Dudbun, thanks for the 1,500 bits, man. I appreciate it. Man, that's a lot. Holy crap. Thanks, man. Oh, okay, I see, Carbon. Okay, and that interactive ad credits you some bits, maybe, or am I thinking that correctly? Am I wording that correctly? I don't know. Honestly, I've never bought bits for anybody. I've just donated regular cash there, so I haven't attempted the system yet.
Hey, guys. My ass itches.
Too much information, Ryuji.
God.
Yeah, too much. Too much. Way too much. What do you think we're gonna do? Scratch it for you? Holy cow.
Three enemies.
What are Yaxini's weak to again?
Nuclear moves.
Nuclear,
Let's
okay.
end this quickly.
What else can they do? Wage war?
Let's end this quickly.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, okay, well that's good. That's good. 5 bits, I mean, like I said, every little bit will help. It's like Dubbun said there too, every little bit will help with that, so.
And really scary. Please calm down.
God, of course they would, rage Makoto there. Well, I got an item for that, so no big deal. Relax, chill. Yep. There you go. And then this. Get 5 or more. Okay, gotcha.
No sudden movements.
Yes, we can.
Beat 'em up.
Gone and gone.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I appreciate that you guys are watching those ads again for my sake. There, it's nice of you. I appreciate it. It's difficult for me to properly express my gratitude because I can't like thank you in person, and I can't give you anything in return other than continuing to, you know, do the streams and stuff. So I don't know exactly how to
They're pretty pathetic, but stay on point.
how to properly say thank, at least properly in the respect that I would think. Actually, these high pixies are weak to gunfire. Let's just do this.
One enemy hit the ground.
And then pass along to, yeah, we'll go Makoto. Use nukes.
Right. The baton has powered you up.
Yeah, absolutely there, Conquer. That's, but again, I think, honestly, I feel like not only is he kind of doubting his own abilities there through this point in the game, it's also that he's trying very desperately to compare himself to other members of our team in order to sort of make himself feel like he measures up to everyone else, and that's just not how this is supposed to work. And then you've also got the fact that Ryuji keeps shitting on him and being just an asshole to him for no really readily apparent reason. I mean, they ribbed each other before this occasionally, but never to the point where he was just being a complete dick for no reason. So, it's, I don't know, that's part of the reason why this part of the game bugs me, to be honest, but, yeah. Well, thanks, Carbon. Thanks, Dubban. I appreciate it. And Conquer. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I will keep doing what I am doing, then, because it seems to be working out pretty okay so far. Man, you're upbeat and you're giving up? Okay, man. Well, give me the goods. Muscle drink? That's not something nice, man. Is that why you're all beefed up? Because you keep drinking protein?
Good work,
Crazy
everyone.
dude. Well, we got some silk yarn out of it, so that's payment enough, I guess. I think we're almost there. Because the platform should be right over here. Yep. Yeah, that's the problem I find with this point in the game is that, and it's honestly, it's not even really in Ryuji's character to be that way either, because it's like, you know, especially if you've done rank 10 of his Cherry Confidant where he's talking about like, you know, I'm not going to place my blame on other people, and if you do rank 9, he's like, well, you know, I'm just going to go my own way and be myself from now on because I may not be in the same place I was before, but wherever I'm going to be now that I'm thinking that way and just looking forward is going to be damn good. He says that, then he starts shitting on Morgana for not being, you know, the person that he was before. It's like, excuse me? Are you sure you're the same Ryuji that I know and love from the rest of the game?
Oh.
It was like they needed to have a conflict of interest here in order to try to up the tension, but it was completely unnecessary. And to be honest with you, what happens after the next main palace would have been enough of a tension beat. Like, what they are doing here, it's completely unnecessary. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, Morgana having some doubt for himself, fine, cool, I get it. But what they should have done is when we go on the Hawaii trip, and I'm going to spoil something that happens on the Hawaii trip here, they never go back and show you what Futaba and Morgana are doing while we're on the Hawaii trip. They just show our perspective while we're there. So what they should have done is they should have occasionally, while we're on the trip, flashed over to Japan where Futaba and Morgana are hanging out and have them sort of have a heart-to-heart and have Morgana sort of talk it out and be like, I don't feel like I'm accepted anymore because you're around, and just have them talk it through, you know what I mean? So that they can get to know each other, one, and two, he can stop feeling like shit because Futaba's taking over his role as the navigator, and he can start seeing he has his own merits. Because following the Hawaii trip, there are going to be story bits, and part of those story bits are going to be wrapped around Morgana's self-doubt, and it's just kind of, you look at what's happening right now, and it's completely pointless. Just, you can see that it just breaks your immersion because you can see that the developers were like, nope, we got to have conflict, so let's just write this shit in. It's like a bad fanfic, basically. So I know I'm spoiling kind of what's going to happen soon, but we'll get to that probably over this weekend, and I'm going to have some words to be said when we get there. So, but just know that if it is getting on your nerves, I understand completely because it gets on my nerves too. So, yeah, there's that. I'm actually going to use one of these chewing souls just to get my SP back up. You get, from the Pulinpa stuff there, you can actually get snuff souls from the rest of the bosses there. So if you need to use an SP item, it's fine. Like, you'll get plenty, believe me. Hey, Dreamwalker, how's it going? Let's see. Let me read what you're saying there, Deadman. Hold on. How people are treating him. In fact, we saw evil thing in his dreams, left some sort of mini palace, the next one, and leave party for the dungeon. I can't tell you specifically whether you're wrong or right about that, but that dream will definitely come into play later on in the story. So just remember that it's happening because it's important. So, yeah, I won't tell you whether you're right or wrong. What you learned from very short Pro ZD video. I don't think I've seen that one, Dreamwalker. I'll have to go and take a look. So... Oh, gonna go see Deadpool later. Gotcha. Cool. I haven't seen that yet. It's on my brother's to-do list. He sees like basically all of the Marvel movies with his friends almost basically when they come out. I typically prefer to wait for them to go to the cheap seats before I go see them. And I know that's kind of wrong, but yeah, I still would like to go see it eventually. Who's the best one for this? Hang on, I'm going to go out of chat for 2 seconds to check out this guy's weakness. I don't think he has any particular weakness or resistance. Let me just make sure. This is Kaitul 5, which is the cat's one, right? Oh no, who's been assaulting people? Okay. We did the cat's one already, didn't we? No particular weakness on this guy, so just Peel and Pa him, basically. Okay. Yeah, we did the cats one already. That's what I thought. So it's the one from the flower shop, then the one from Crossroads, and then the movie theater one after that, and then the one from the cheater at the arcade. Oop, I think I missed that. Hang on, don't go away there. Oop, shit. Hang on. Interesting font in the game. Yeah, it's definitely got its own style there. I like it. I like it personally. I'm using a different prop for my phone, so it keeps falling over. Kind of sucks. There we go. That should be a little better. He has no particular weakness or resistance, but I think he's physical, so... Let's bring in Anne instead of use King. Actually, yeah, they're about even now, so that's fine. And they won't quite be even just yet, but they will be later. They are all separate stories with similar themes and similar gameplay mechanics, basically. So you don't need to have played other Personas in order to understand what happens, but there are occasional references and that sort of a thing back to previous Persona games. If you've played them, you'll understand them. If you haven't played them, then it's really not necessary. But if you have played them, it might be a nice little Easter egg for you.
Sorry.
This is the mob boss guy? Really? He seems timid. Or not like a mob boss. You'd think that they'd... I don't know, maybe I'm just used to Kaneshiro. That's... not... No. Okay, well now he's acting more like a criminal, but... Why are my people barely dressed? Tomorrow in the game is the Hawaii trip, for the school trip for the students. Like the main character and some of his partners are all students at Shujin Academy, and Shujin Academy is taking their school trip for the year to Hawaii. So because of that, basically Mementos, which is the dungeon that we're in, is the dungeon where public cognition becomes reality. As little sense as that makes. And because they're all thinking about the Hawaii trip, I thought it would make sense for me to dress them up in the swimsuit costumes. So that's why they're barely dressed. Yes, fan service. That's exactly a dud bun. Fan service. And incidentally, speaking of fan service, I recall from when I was doing money grinding in this particular battle that this was the time when I started to notice it happening. I won't tell you what it is, but it's happening on the screen right now. And I honestly didn't notice it before, but I'm kind of surprised that they included it. I didn't think it would be a thing. And I mean, it is a Japanese game, so I suppose it being in there is fine, but... And I guess to be expected, but... Yeah, I didn't expect it at all. But it's happening, so I guess... we could be happy for that. If you don't know what it is, then I'm glad now you can never unsee it, Conquer, because that's exactly how I felt. As soon as I saw it, I can never unsee it again. Never ever. Yeah, that's basically it there, Carbon. So Kinki here, also Kinki, Why You Betray Me. I don't think he's weak to anything in particular, so you think you figured it out? You don't know what it is. I don't know how to tell you, Dudbun, but maybe you'll see it eventually here. So Kinki has a lot of HP, but he can be Peel and Pod, and then we can just beat him up, so it's not really a huge deal. Well, it is happening again now. It's less noticeable, probably even less so because you guys are on slightly less quality than I am there. It's more noticeable, I think, when Futaba buffs you, to be honest, because eventually, like, I think what happened in this battle was that I was doing the money grinding using Peel and Pa here, and then when that happened, oh crap, well, that's fine. I'll just tear around to him, it'll be fine. I could have used Tentara Fu as well, but that's okay. This might hurt. Ow. Yeah, it hurt a little bit, but we're okay. But yeah, so I think what happened during this battle when I was doing the money grinding was that Futaba buffed us with her little skill that buffs all 3 of our stats at once, and then you can't see it either, Carbon. Okay. Well, you can't see it right now. I don't think that helps any, but I'll explain it. I'll explain it in a little while. So yeah, basically, I think what happened was that Futaba buffed us with all 3 of the buffs, and then what happens is that when that happens, it zooms in on the character when the buffs wear off. It's happening on the screen right now. So when it zoomed in on the character, I noticed it happening, and I was like, what the fuck? I had a good laugh at the expense of one of our characters, I'll say that. If you see it, yes, you can mention it. I think Carbon just got it. It's sort of difficult to notice it from this angle, but yeah, it's happening. Well, it was happening. Now you can't see it, but yeah, the biggest donors, basically, because Carbon and Dudbun donated bits to me for this stream, so because they donated bits to me, they have those 1 and 2 badges there. Top donors, basically, get the little badges there. So yeah, I got something similar to this. It's barely noticeable in that particular instance, but when the buffs wear off, it's a little more noticeable. You had gotten it before I started explaining? Okay, gotcha. It's something. Let's hit. I think I'm just gonna do this, to be honest. How many times has he been confused? Okay, this second turn he's confused. Now, all of these guys that are being confused this time on the Mementos runs, they can throw ointments at you in addition to that stuff. Is there a difference between bits and money? I think just a hard donation, we've been trying to figure that out, to be honest with you. We think at this point that a hard donation may get me slightly more money, but it kind of depends on what taxes Twitch has on donations there, because I know they take a good chunk off the top of it. So it just kind of depends on their taxes and stuff. But yes, they are both ways for a streamer to get paid, so it's an option, basically. They're both options for people to get paid. I'm not even gonna bother killing him, just gonna keep doing this. Because he's got... Actually, that did more damage than previous, I wonder why. Well, whatever. He's almost dead at this point anyway. Let's just confuse him one more time. Yes, and I think, well, okay, there you go. So that was what I was saying, is that all of the bosses that we're confusing this time will give you, can give you physical or magic ointment, and those basically will put up a repel wall for either physical or magical attacks. So they're pretty good to have around. There are certain bosses where they can come in pretty handy. but it's not that necessary for you to grab them. I have a bunch of them though from the money grinding, so I'll probably put some use to them. Yes, yeah, if I start making some extra bonuses for people who cheer there, which I'm going to have to look into doing at some point here to benefit people who decide to cheer there. Oh, he has counter. Okay, well then let's just use Smile. So I'm going to have to look into seeing if I can add some extra little bonuses for people who cheer or do that sort of stuff. We'll see how that all goes once I get a little bit further up in this whole affiliate business there. Well, we got Dekunda, so that's good. What can I get rid of for Dekunda? I'm going to keep her physical skills, even though I barely ever use them. We'll just get rid of regular Fry for now. And then I will... basically, she's going to get some passive skills coming up pretty soon. Like, she gets Defense Master coming up at the next skill rank there. And then I think she gets Nuke Boost soon. So we'll get rid of Vajra Blast and Flash Bomb when she gets those skills. And we'll go from there.
What have I done?
Oh, is your Prime sub available? Okay, well, if you do that, Dreamwalker, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, don't worry about it for now. If it's inconvenient for you, there's no rush for it. I'm not even worried about it at this point, to be honest. So, but if you do decide to sub, I appreciate that. So, as different Pokemon as cheer badges, okay, that's a good idea. I'll have to figure out what I want to do with the cheer badges and stuff. I might put in like cheer badges as references to some of the other playthroughs I've done. Like, I know that when I did Asura's Wrath a while ago, there was one guy who said that when I had the donations or anything else pop up on the screen, I should pop up the screenshot of the hot springs scene with Argus's ass in it. I said that might get me banned on Twitch, but I could probably make Argus's face one of the cheer badges? I don't know, maybe. I'm just thinking out loud at this point, but I could just make references to games that I've played already for the stream, maybe. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm definitely going to run it by all of you guys, though, in like an update video or something when I do it, though. So that way I kind of share my thoughts and we can, you know, go back and forth with it and figure it all out together. So we'll go from there. I haven't honestly even been paying attention to the game. I've just been playing on autopilot. Oh, well, that's good. What can you do? Yeah, turn yourself in there. That would be the best way to do it. Well, you just need to atone for it with the rest of your life there. And for defeating him, we get the Charge skill card. Pretty good if you don't want to get it on Satanta, or if you don't have Satanta as a persona at this point, you can plop it on one of your physical personas. I personally am going to save that skill card for probably close to the end game, because I'll have Charge on most of my physical personas from here until the end game, but for the last one, I won't be able to get it naturally without using the Gallows, so I figure I've got the card, I might as well just use it, so... Yeah, that seems to be what it is there, Carbon. It seems to be the more interactive than the other two options, because the other two are just kind of like, it happens, thank you, I appreciate it, and then you have that done for now. In my case, it's a little more interactive with subscriptions, because subscriptions automatically, once I implement it, will automatically have access to the short list for stream suggestions if they want to suggest a game. But in most cases, it's basically you subscribe, thank you, done. Donation, thank you, done. That sort of thing, so... Yeah, go ahead and post the link, Dudbun. That's fine. No problem. Yeah, I'll check out that link once basically I'll watch back the stream footage and I'll check out that link once I'm done with this one so I can take a look. Dreamwalker, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it. You have become monochromatic. No, we're not going to make that a thing. We're not going to make that a thing. I'm glad that the Twitch app kind of gives me, like, it tells me when people give bits and subscriptions and all that other stuff, because just doing it out of the desktop search there, it didn't give me all of those things, so. Yeah, monochromatic confirmed. Oh boy. Maybe I shouldn't have even said it. I thought I should say it on a whim, and then I was like, oh boy, this could be a thing. But then I was like, maybe I shouldn't make it a thing, but now maybe it will be a thing. Maybe subscribers will become monochromatic. I don't know. I'm just making shit up as I go, man. That's basically it. That's what this whole stream is. It's just me making shit up as I go. Well, anyway, here's the rest area.
Let's take 5.
And now it's a little easier to get back to the, well, to get to the next Mementos request, because they're only a couple floors down from here and then a couple floors down from that, so no big deal. Do we have anything new to say about Mementos, or is it just the same thing as they said before? No, same thing they said before. Every stream has started with "Hello, my chromatics." Oh God, what have I done? I kind of like how you doing, everybody. Though it's kind of been my thing. You know what I mean? For like 8 years almost now on the internet. So I mean, I guess I'm not opposed to changing it, but I'm kind of partial. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just change the subscription thing to, like, the message that it gives you is, username has become monochromatic or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
What are your thoughts?
But anyway, we're all good to go, so let's keep exploring.
All right. Let's
Could
get
go
moving.
all the way up there. Yeah, I'll keep it for now, but we'll see how... Maybe I'll try it at the beginning of the next stream, and then I'll see how it sounds coming out of my own mouth. If I don't like it from there, I'll figure it out. It might work, you never know. I mean, we're already making shit up as we go, so I might as well give it a shot, right? What do I want to do with this? Ryuji and Yusuke are about even, so... The next boss is... I can change Futaba's clothing to swimsuit, but I figured since she's not going along with us to Hawaii there, Dudbun, it wouldn't be on her mind. I could change it if you guys want me to, but my headcanon says that since she's not going along, she wouldn't have that change. But you can if you go to her equip here. You can switch her over to swimsuit or whatever else we've got here. I got a few DLC outfits still that I'm gonna have people wearing as well later on in the game, but not just yet. So keep it with the headcanon. Okay, I'll keep with the headcanon. Oh God,
They saw us.
they saw us, but we got it. She actually doesn't go to our school there, Dreamwalker. She is so Saizo, the main character, Makoto, who the camera's on right now, Anne on the far end there, and Ryuji, who's not in the party right now, but he's the one with the blonde hair. They all go to the same school, so they'll all be going to Hawaii. Yusuke is going with his own school to Los Angeles, but they'll be going to beaches anyway, so I figure he'll have the same sort of mindset. But Futaba does not go to Shujin Academy just yet. She just graduated from middle school, and then due to some issues with her character development, basically, she hasn't been back in school for like a year. So she's not with us, and she's not going on the trip. She's going to be staying home. Yes. Yeah, basically that. She's not at the same school. That's basically it. I got to move Dakunda down on the list there.
Don't resist. Right now.
The weird cat thing technically goes to school. But he goes in my backpack with me. So he accompanies me to school, but he's not actually in the school. He's a regular cat out in real life. So
I'm getting sleepy with nothing to
it's
do.
a very Japanese game, basically. It's got its own quirks. But Morgana doesn't have a swimsuit outfit, unfortunately. It would be nice, but yeah, he's just got his classic outfit. So yes, he does go, just not as a student there. What was I gonna check on here? Oh yes, Dakunda. Okay, that's right here, there, and there. So let's move this all the way down on the list there. Gotta appease my OCD. Okay, and now let's continue. So we gotta get down to floor 8 of Kaitul to get to the next boss that we're gonna fight. Don't you dare turn around. Okay, good. This is probably the platform, if I had to guess. No, nope, not quite. 1, 2 other areas to go to. Okay.
I've got good night vision, so you can feel safe even in the dark. You're a big help, Mona. Thank you.
See, there you go, Mona. You're getting some recognition for the things that you're doing. You don't gotta feel like you can't do nothing at all now. Oh, hey, this reconnects over here. Okay, cool. Usually the floors don't do that. Usually all the different paths are just branching paths. They all go in their own direction.
I just can't get used to the shadows here.
Yeah, they're bizarre. Kinda awkward to deal with.
I probably shouldn't be using insta-kill all the time here because obviously it neglects my experience a little bit, but it's okay. We don't need the experience that badly.
Joker, a treasure chest. Let's open it.
It does keep me slightly lower on my levels like I've been wanting to try to do, but
Every time I see the news, I wonder if it's something related to us. It's also important to analyze and organize the gathered intel.
yeah, and then any intel we can gather from the news might help us a little bit. It's tough to analyze all of that at this point in the game, though, because we're so freaking famous at this point. It's like we're a household name, basically, all over Japan, which is pretty ridiculous. Of course, like I said, that can only end horribly, and I don't even think, again, you need to know what happens later in the game to know that that's going to end badly, but Oops. I went all the way around him and didn't ambush him. I should have just hit ambush right there. Oh well. Yeah, it's just Takemi Nakata. We can handle Takemi Nakata. This works. Dizzy the shit out of both of them. Okay, that works. I think you get a technical if you physically attack a dizzy enemy. Yep, cool. Now we should dodge this. Never mind. Ha! Dodge that one. Now, sure. Sandman's cool and all, but he's kind of on the DL in terms of his ability to actually damage enemies now. He's more there for healing pod than anything else. And that's only for this outing, because after this outing, we're going to have a better option. And of course, just as Morgana gets a compliment, he has to not participate in an all-out attack as he gets knocked down by a dizzied enemy. I'm sure that didn't do anything good for his confidence.
All right.
He's having a rough time of it, folks.
Okay, let's keep going.
Okay. Let me actually heal up since we got rocked a little bit in that battle. There we go. Despite the fact that I'm on normal difficulty, don't let that make it seem like, oh, well, you know, it's not, there's no possible way that the game can kill us or anything like that. The game can definitely really mess you up even if you're on a lower difficulty. I mean, if you're on like easier, what is the other one, safety, I think, then you stand a lot less likelihood of really getting hurt from those attacks. But if you're on normal or higher and the enemies get a one more, it's
Focus on the job for now.
it can get pretty ugly for you pretty quickly.
I see it.
Whoop.
There's a shadow.
I see it. The Mementos request is up there, I think, so let's see if I can get behind this guy. There we go. Yeah, it's starting to get to be more of an operating factor there, Dudbun, where fame is kind of a driving force for the team's decisions. Don't worry if it bothers you, because it does kind of come to a head and they have to confront the fact that they've been doing things primarily for fame over the course of the game, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Are any as easy as Mass Effect story mode? I think safety mode, yeah, is probably as easy as Mass Effect story mode. It's safety mode hands you a bunch of free items at the beginning of the game that revive your entire party once, so I would say, and damage from enemies isn't as high and all of that other stuff, so I would say, yeah, probably just that easy. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to bring chat back and I had to reconnect. There we go. Suiki is weak to Fryla, so let's use that. And then pass along to, I think Fuki's weak to Zio, right? Apparently not, hold on. What are you weak to? Oh, I didn't get his, it's weak to Zio. I know it's weak to Zio. Just let me look there. Oh yeah, no, I know. It may not be that annoying. I know that it's a point of contention for some people with the game, and they do address it, so don't worry. It's something that the game doesn't just let hang, basically, so. You've already been beaten at least 3 times. Well, there's nothing to be ashamed of with that, Conker, because the enemies can kick your ass in this game if you're not careful. So it's kind of a thing that this whole series really does, because the Persona series is a part of the larger Shin Megami Tensei series, and in the Shin Megami Tensei series, if you take advantage of the battle system and you use it to its fullest potential, it can make the game pretty easy. But if you don't and you let the enemies take advantage of it, you're screwed, basically. So,
Okay.
yes, yeah, definitely,
That was an
Conker.
easy
That's
battle.
that's definitely something that you kind of got to keep your eyes on there, because if you don't accommodate for weaknesses, it can definitely happen when you least expect it, and that can obviously cause a lot of problems. So, wow, this floor is humongous. Holy crap, this is a wall I can break down. There we go.
There's a chest. Joker, let's open it.
Yes, Persona is part of a larger series. It is its own series with 5 entries in it currently, along with all the spin-offs. And then it's part of the larger Shin Megami Tensei series, which has been going on since like the 1980s, I think? Which is pretty ridiculous, considering it only has like 4 mainline entries, and it just has a ton of spin-offs. Shin Megami Tensei, that is.
Let's
So.
get this done. Don't rush things, or else you'll tire out. Remember to pace your ventures properly.
Yes, definitely, Dudbun. If you're not on the up and up about weaknesses for enemies there, and it's your first playthrough, you can definitely get destroyed by some of the enemies in here. So
It's a treasure chest. It's fun time.
it's usually kind of intuitive, though, with some of them. Like with Fuki, you can kind of take a look, especially if you have Makoto, so she can analyze enemies. She can tell you what the enemies use as their skills, and most of the time it's fairly intuitive to what your party members are weak to. So like Morgana is weak to electric, but he uses wind skills. Therefore, you can kind of imply that Fuki might be weak to electric as well, because he uses wind skills, and if you imply that, you're rewarded because he is weak to electric. It's not true all the time, but it's a good place to start if you don't know where to start about finding out weaknesses. It's just a matter of being perceptive. Now, of course, later on in the game, we'll start running into enemies with absolutely 0 weaknesses, and then, of course, it'll be a little difficult once that happens, but we have status ailments if we need to for that point. Anyway,
Then
we got another request right in here. That'll be, what is that, 2 today out of 4. Yeah, similar to Pokemon logic, it's a little bit more complex, I think, because in Pokemon, it's kind of simple in Pokemon, because even though there's, different Pokemon all over the place, they're all of similar types, and each one that's a water type will be weak to electric. So you can kind of see, well, does it live in the water? Okay, it's weak to electric, probably. In most cases, that's true, unless there's a secondary typing for it. So yeah, I guess it is pretty similar. It's just because it's different for each demon in this game that makes it a little tricky sometimes. So. Yeah, that'll happen, Conker. It definitely will. So you just got to be, well, I wish I could say you just got to be careful, but it does. It happens to the best of us, so don't feel ashamed by it, because it definitely happens. This guy's weak to bless skills, and he's not susceptible to Pulin-Pa. Excuse me. So I definitely want Ann in the party so I can tear into him. Excuse me again. What is this guy? I don't remember. If I'm having a problem with the party members I have, I'll just use Saizo's turn to change my party members. No big deal. But let's take him on. Yeah, I haven't personally played Diablo 2 there, but if it's like some of the enemies in this game where they have no weaknesses, then I can see how it can get pretty annoying there. We have status ailments to make up for it ourselves, so if in Diablo 2 status ailments aren't as much of a thing as they are in this game, which in this game they are a pretty big deal, then I can definitely see it being annoying. I've watched some of Pem's Diablo 2 playthrough, but I only watched the first few episodes of it, to be honest with you. I didn't really get a chance to watch the rest. I have a hard time finding enough time in my schedule to watch everybody else's videos. I try to leave a like on every video that comes up in my sub box, but it's difficult to watch those videos all the way through. So sorry if anybody's watching, either on YouTube or in Twitch, that I'm subscribed to, that happens. I find it difficult. I'm sorry. then they'll never get promoted. Well, you're just being an asshole. Yeah.
Idiot.
Well, what is the real world, really? We can sit here and argue semantics all the time, but I think the real world is just what you make of it. And you're making it hell for some people, so you're gonna pay for it. Ah, Kumbanda. We haven't seen this guy yet, but we will. Don't you worry, we will. You can build up personas for dealing criticals. There are a couple of different skills that you can get for dealing criticals with physical attacks. There's Apt Pupil, which increases the crit chance with physical skills like Lucky Punch with Morgana, or anything where it has that like little explosion, that orange explosion. What's it called? Icon next to it. Those are physical skills that benefit from Apt Pupil. We have Trigger Happy on Matador in our Persona compendium there. Trigger Happy is the one for gun skills, but both of those will increase your critical hit chances. And then there's also the skills Revolution and Rebellion, which will increase your crit rate. So if you put those skills on personas that you can build up for criticals, you can essentially do like what you said. You can essentially keep getting 1-mores from doing all of that, so it works out pretty good. Oh, jeez. That sounds like hell, Dreamwalker. That sounds like absolute hell. Yeah, it kind of is sort of like a grind tree, and it's something that we'll take advantage of later on there, Dudbun, because the other thing is that the luck stat affects whether or not you can get critical hits. So, if you have a persona that you already have built up for Pyo-Inpa or Tentar Fu for money grinding, you can also give it physical skills, and then you can totally just break the system by criticaling things with that persona. So I might do that later, but honestly, I don't really bother with crits that often because most bosses, which is where I actually care about, wanting more damage, most bosses are immune to criticals. And if they aren't, I have Morgana and Lucky Punch, which will later become Miracle Punch, to do that, so. Gotcha. Okay, Dreamwalker, that makes sense. It's sort of similar to the experience that we've had on Champions Return to Arms when you play as a wizard. It's some bosses and some of the later difficulties make that class an absolute nightmare to play as, so. Yeah, high luck plus crit skills equals win the game, basically. Yep, that's pretty much it. You could probably get through the entire game just with personas with physical skills with Apt Pupil and maybe a healer in the back for it, so. You won't be able to take advantage of weaknesses as much, but most of the time that will probably suit you just fine. I don't think so there, Commanda. We're gonna take care of you before that becomes a problem. You're not particularly vulnerable to anything, so... I think just Frylock, honestly. I forget what this guy does. I don't think he does anything particularly... Okay, so he's another status ailment boss, that's fine. We can handle that. I just damage. Damage is good. Now let's go get... I think we'll go get Satanta out so that we can Rakunda him. Where do we have him? There you are. Lower his defense, and then go to town. I think he resists fire, though, if I remember right. Maybe, but I don't know. We'll find out. He shouldn't take long, though. So we'll just have Morgana keep everybody okay with the healing. I don't even need to do that just yet. I'll just do this and we'll just keep smacking him around. And Swift Strike a go-go. Yep. Let's see if he resists fire. Nope. He don't resist nothing. Beat him up there, Queen. Nice. And a little bit more cash for us there. I could have used Kuga, I think, as well to knock him down, because I think he's weak to Bless, but
I'm a victim
it's
too.
okay. Well, why would you ever think that? Yeah, you're just giving into the vicious cycle, man. That sucks. Yeah, you could have made a difference, but you decided to feed into that vicious cycle instead. Nothing good. So what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. Well, good. Hopefully that helps out, because the way that you've been now, obviously not helping anybody. Theme Park Escorts. So that's a book that we can get for. Yeah. So if you, I guess if you were to do this before going to the amusement park, somehow, I don't know how you'd manage to do this before going to the amusement park, because I don't think you get this. I don't think you get this request until after you've already gone to the amusement park, right? So I don't know why they'd give that to you. Anyway, we finished out that request. We aren't just your slaves. Maybe the books carry over into New Game Plus, like the books that you have carry over into New Game Plus, and then you can read it like early on in the game and get access to the amusement park way earlier than you're supposed to. I don't know. I've never played on New Game Plus, so I don't really know. That'll be an experience once we get to that, which we'll be doing that eventually here. Let's top everybody off with a Mediarama. There we go. And I think, let's see here. I think we'll bring Ryuji and Yusuke into the party now. Well, really, Anna and Makoto kind of need to keep catching up with them in terms of experience, so maybe I'll just keep them in the party. I do want Ryuji in there for the next boss, though, so we'll keep Anna and Makoto in the party for now, and then we'll put Ryuji and Yusuke in for the next boss. We explored this whole floor, right? Yep. All right, down to Area 9. One more area to go after, and then we'll be done with all of Kytool. And then it's just one more request, and we just need to go down a few floors into the next path, which we'll be getting to shortly, and we're done for today in Mementos.
There's a shadow waiting around here.
Yep, I see it. Focus. Just wait for it to turn around, and then... BAM! I won't be insta-killing enemies on the next path, obviously, because I'm insta-killing them now because this is the path that corresponds to not the last palace that we did, but the palace before that. So
Don't worry, I'm fully equipped.
I don't want to know where those airbags come from, Morgana. Just I'm glad you're fully equipped, but okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm insta-killing things so much because this is most of the personas around here are like level 20. Like low 20s, whereas we're like mid to high 30s.
They are after our lives.
So
we have no reason to hold back.
Are you saying that I should viciously murder them by ramming them in the back with my car, Yusuke? Because I think that's what you're saying.
Not bad, Mona.
I think we can kill them with just this upload attack. We have enough attack power on our weapons and stuff now. This should just kill them. The damage that you do with all-out attacks, in case I didn't mention that at one point, is dependent on the amount of attack power that you have on your weapons there. So your physical attack power factors into it.
Now let's keep going.
So basically, upgrade your equipment if your all-out attacks aren't killing the enemies outright. I haven't been upgrading my equipment though because I've been waiting for Mementos requests and stuff to give me weapons and stuff. But the next main palace, we'll go and buy some armor when we get access to the next main palace. So.
Given their lack of shape, I find it hard to capture them in my paintings.
Let's knock into that guy and then go this way, grab this chest. Hey, another blank card. All right, cool. Yeah, you'll get those occasionally from treasure chests, and as I've said before, they're fairly important for the skills that I want to pass along later on in the game, so.
Okay.
Alright, so we're at the end of Kytool, and here is our last request that we have to handle on the path of Kytool. Yes, we can't let him kick the old couple out of the Young Ginjaya movie theater because they need to open that shit up. It's, it will benefit us if we can go to a movie theater right near our house, so. I want Ryuji and Yusuke in for this one, I think. Maybe I should have Anne and Makoto in for this one, actually. Yeah, that's fine. Because Morgana's got less defense than the rest of us and less HP, so this boss can hit pretty hard with his physical attacks, so I'd rather have Terrunda available, and then I can do the healing myself if need be, so we'll do that. But this boss is kind of challenging, actually, to use Pulinpa with, because it seems like the skill doesn't hit as often as it has been for other people, and because of that, it just makes it a little trickier, because if you don't hit with Pulinpa, then you run the risk of taking upwards of like 150 to 200 damage from some of his physical attacks, so it can be pretty spooky, but I'll do the best I can. I want you to stop being an asshole to an old couple. How about that? Yeah. Well, you don't have to be a jerk about it. Well, let's see if our playing around can get you to change your mind about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not very nice of you. Should have said piss chugging, dude. It just rolls off the tongue so much better than pithy smelling. And don't let the fact that he's Nippon Datura catch you off guard, because trust me, he's not to be messed with. No. How about no? Okay, so... Well, first things first, let's, I don't know, just do Rakakata on yourself there, Makoto, just to give yourself a little bit of extra defense. And here's where the problems start, because as you can see, that Rampage does quite a bit of damage considering it's, well, Rampage. It's not fun. So first things first, let's see if we can get Pulinpa to stick on him, because that'll make this fight a lot more manageable. Nope. So, if you can't get Pulinpa to stick on him, there is a backup plan. He's weak to electricity, so that's why we brought Ryuji to smack him with the Zionga, and then we can break the formation and baton pass back over to Saizo to see if we can get another chance at Pulinpa-ing him. Because if you don't, well, God help you. Because it's really gonna hurt when he starts smacking you around there. But we can tear onto him and then we can go from there, so that should make things a little easier. Yeah, we'll just use Diorama to kind of keep going, and then we'll have Saizo and Ryuji smack him around with a bunch of physical skills. Okay, let's get Satanta out here, and we will Thunder him. Then we'll Zionga and Rising Slash, I think. That should make things a little easier. He's not going to take his turn next, so we'll do this. And we'll all-out attack him at the end, but I want to make sure I get his HP down first. So. There we go. That's pretty good. I think he resists Agi, if I remember right. But, well, actually, I need a Diorama anyway to get my HP back up. We'll just heal slowly as we go here while he's confused. Take advantage of the opportunity.
Let's go.
Oh, is it? Okay, so let's see here. We Rakunda'd him, so now we can... We'll knock him down and we'll Swift Strike him with Ryuji, then we'll knock him down, we'll pass back over to Saizo and we'll Rising Slash him. How's that sound?
You're mine.
Ooh, Joker, you're looking cool.
Because Ryuji's Swift Strike should deal lots of damage with the extra boost from the baton pass there. There we go. Nice job, Ryuji. Of course, now the problem lies in the fact that I can't pass back, but I could just Swift Strike again. Nothing stopping me from doing that, you know? Makoto gets a turn. I think it's time to kill him. Yeah, he's the one that resists Agi. Okay. Time to die. Phew, that was a close one. But yeah, if you can kill him with an all-out attack, it would have gotten you about 45,000 yen. It would have been pretty nice. Good payday for us, but we already got a good payday because, as I said, I did the money grinding on the other file already, so we're good. And we're level 36, not bad. Got a new skill for somebody. Isis, okay. Isis got Garula finally. Not that I'm actually going to use it, but we'll get rid of Diorama for that. I've got better healing on other personas. And Ryuji got Shock Boost, which, I guess we can get rid of Headbutt for that. I mean, Headbutt is good, but we have Mothman with Makajame on now, and pretty soon he'll be able to, once we put Mothman into the next thing that we can evolve it into, once I get up to level 39, we'll be able to inflict Forget a lot easier than we would be able to inflict it with just Headbutt there. So we'll get rid of, Headbutt for Shock Boost. He'll get Electric Break at the next level, but I'm probably just going to get rid of that. It's not that necessary. So that takes care of that. No, you should have thought of that before you started pushing people around. I can't answer that. Why don't you talk to the old couple?
As I was saying...
Yeah, nicely. Like, not being a dick about it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just go get fired then. Whoops.
I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. True. Yeah, very true. I don't know what else he's done, but hopefully he'll make up for that too. And so we get Shitamachi Reborn, another book from that one. I forget what that book gives you. I think it gives you access to a shrine, if I remember right. I guess we could look. Hold on. Take a quick drink. There we go. So Shitamachi Reborn, huh? Let's see her. Oh, okay. Sky Tower. Okay, so if you didn't have access to the Sky Tower yet, which we do, you could access it by reading that book. But again, it's not really that necessary because I've basically have access to all of the things that these books are giving me, would otherwise give me access to, you know? So now Ryuji's ahead of Yusuke again. Damn. Oh well, no big deal. We'll just do that for now then. And let's open this door to the next area. We'll go back up to the top there before we go into this area though, so. Essentially, yeah, we're beating up, the people or the demons that we're beating up are the, it's their cognitions personified, basically, and you beat them up and change their hearts in order to make them stop doing bad things. Now, some of the things that they do are, in some cases, are worse than others. These are the side missions, so these are like the minor criminals. Some of the major criminals from the main areas that you go to in the game have some pretty warped desires there that they create for themselves. So, but yes, it's a little strange, I'll admit that for sure, but it's got some cool mechanics and it's got some decent everything else, so I enjoy it myself. But we're moving on to the next area, the Path of Exariath. Are those bones on the railroad tracks there? Yeah, we're gonna have to be a little more careful here now. Not bones, just really warped pieces of wood. Great. Well, let me go back up to the entrance so I can save real quick, and then we'll head back into Exariath. There's a rest area not too far in. I think it's in, like, Area 4 of Exariath, so it's not that far to go, but if I can teleport straight back to the entrance from here anyway, I'm gonna do it. Just save myself the trouble.
I'll just add
Let's just save up here. And then go back down.
Well,
I don't think you can save in the end area there. I can always look when we get back down. It would be nice if you could, since you could teleport to and from it, but it's okay. Saved me a couple button inputs, you know? No, you cannot save down here. Okay, that's fine. But let's head down into the Path of Exariath, and we'll see what awaits us there. I mean, it's just the enemies from Futaba's Palace plus a couple of new ones, but it's not a big deal. We should be able to handle it. There's the bones. Good lord. Yeah, Mementos gets a little more twisted the further down you go. Like there's these things used to be just the little railway things, but now they almost look like gravestones. So it's going a little more warped than it used to be. Obviously, the further down we go, the more warped the public's desires become. So that's what's creating all of this craziness. Yes, yes. Those are the main people that we've changed their hearts so far. Yeah, you got it right, Dudbun. Yep. Those are the main people that we've changed their hearts so far.
There's a shadow up ahead. The decision is yours, Joker.
Turn around. Turn. Well, he turned around enough. There we go. But yeah, those are the main people that we've changed their hearts for so far.
Cat all in weird suits.
And
I wonder what people would think
there
if
will
they
be
saw
more
us.
to come from that come from there.
One.
The
Put me in
excuse
the
me.
same boat
There
as
will
the
be
leader.
more where that came from. There we go. Some more gear that we could wash in the washing machine that I don't ever plan on actually washing until New Game Plus. Whoa, hello. Just casually walking on the railroad tracks. You might want to watch that, man. You might get run over. There's an electromagnetic whip. That might be better than what Anne's got right now. So, New Game Plus, social stats, compendium, skill cards, equipment, money, playtime, and special items carry over. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind when I go into New Game Plus, because I'm going to probably have to equip some different stuff when we get there. Ooh, yeah, it is a little bit better, and it has a chance of shock. Nice. Oh, the Envy Chain that we got last time, by the way, this is what it is. It's a low attack thing, but it has a high chance of inflicting despair on the enemies that you use it on. So it's not bad, even though it gives low attack. The problem, of course, is that the low attack power that it has means that your all-out attacks are going to deal piss for damage, because Anne won't contribute that much to them, so... You still haven't noticed it in battle? I'll see if I can make it more noticeable soon. Maybe. Yeah, basically, the personas that I'm summoning in battle, all of these guys, these are all personas. Now, the main character has access to all of these, whereas the other characters have access to only one of them. It's a part of the main character's special power. But they have access to personas because they've experienced adversity in their lives, and they've decided, instead of just letting the adversity happen to them, they're going to essentially say, fuck you, fate, I'm going to fight you now, and rebel against the fate that they have been given by society. So that's what a persona is. It's the mask that they can take off in order to rebel against society's wishes for making them miserable people, basically. And the way that society is in this game, it's more one-dimensional than a normal society, because people are more complacent to let things just happen to them in the society in this game. And because of that, sometimes you need teenagers with attitude to give the public an attitude adjustment, essentially.
This'll be a slaughter.
Yeah, especially if I knock him over like that. I think I should be able to kill him like this. Yeah, also for fame, but we don't talk about fame. Because it's the reason why things on our own team are becoming slightly distorted. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, there's an aluminum sheet, so if you need some from Anzu's, you can just come to the early areas of the Path of Exariath, and you can just beat them up, because they're by themselves usually here, so it's pretty easy to grab some and get them together. Okay, that's it for this floor. Next. And then on the later floors of the Path of Exariath, you can get liquid mercury so that you can use that. But it's a weird little game there, Dreamwalker, but if you have access to a PS4, I don't know if it's up your alley or not, but it might be. I would recommend it. I think it's worth checking out, so. It's got its own style and charm, you know.
I'm in the zone now. Give me more stimulation.
Dude,
Yeah, phrasing, Ryuji. Thanks for telling everybody else. Yeah, don't worry that you're not seeing it. It's not anything game-breaking or anything like that, but I'll try to make it more noticeable. Let's see if I can get into a battle situation where it is a thing. Oh, and another thing I got to do for you, Dudbun. Last time we didn't check out some of the high-level personas within the Velvet Room there. So remind me when I boot up the file where I've done the money grinding already. We'll go look at them before we're done today. So just remind me. In your storage unit? Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be a little tricky then to have to get that out of storage just for this. I don't know if I'd get it out of storage just for this game. This game is pretty good. It's also probably the most accessible game in the Persona series because it's on a mainstream console rather than just being on like a PS Vita, which is difficult to come by.
Meow! Be careful with that.
Don't make it more noticeable. Okay. If you insist, I want to show him though. I gotta show him what's up,
Need a
but
drink. Give me some fizz.
where do you
I would buy
expect
some
me to
green
get
tea.
fizz
The
right now?
stronger the better.
I didn't buy drinks for this particular outing. No, it's fine, Dudbun, no problem. Will we be able to see it from here? Maybe. Hold on. Hold on. We might be able to see it. Not with that big marker though. Well, maybe now. Can you see it now, Dudbun? Check the screen. Oh, you need to get your HD TV out of storage too? Okay, gotcha. Ah, in a studio apartment. Okay. Yeah, I understand that. It's tough sometimes to find space for all of that stuff, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, if you didn't see it, I'm sorry, but I gotta move on a little bit. And then yeah, we'll just go right along the line here. Did you see it? Again, I'm not going to say what it is, but I think everybody kind of has an idea of what it is at this point, so. Yeah, it totally took me off guard the first time I saw it. I didn't expect it at all.
Leave the noobs and let's go.
Even Futaba's done with my antics with these guys. She's just like, let's get out of here, come on. These guys are cake. Too easy. Let's see, what's in here? A dead end, great. I guess that's debatable now, isn't it? There. I do have a mature audiences thing stuck up on the front of my stream there. At least I think it's still there. I'm pretty sure I still have that check marked on my thing there, where it should give you a message when you first come on the stream that says this is for mature audiences only. So I'm not really a G-rated streamer. It's more like, I guess it'd be more like R-rated because I say fuck a lot, and I mean I figure you guys are okay with that. So. Let's do this, and then we can give Lachesis a chance to shine here. We haven't really used her all that much, so. I mean, we have Bufu on Isis there, but we could do this instead. A little extra SP never hurt nobody. Do you remember that? Okay, good. I'm glad it's still there. Because I wouldn't have known what to do if it was gone. I mean, I could have gone and just checked and make sure it was checkmarked, but I didn't change that recently, so if it was gone, I would have been like, what? Oh, I was just... Yeah. Yeah, I was just not saying explicitly what it was because I wanted it to... I wanted you guys to see what it was, really. Okay, and Anne got Miragi on at that level, so let's replace Miragi with that. Straight upgrade, and she'll get fire boost at the next level, so that'll be good. I don't know what I'm deleting for that though. I could delete Tentara Fu, but I don't know. I feel like that might be a little weird. I kind of need all of her other skills though, except for Ambient Aid. Obviously, I don't really need Ambient Aid all that badly. I'm not going to set up Anne to use status ailments because I've got Saizo to do the status ailment stuff. So I'm basically going to be getting rid of Ambient Aid and Tentara Fu later for probably Fire Boost, and she gets an ability called Concentrate later, which is kind of like the Charge skill, except it's for magic attacks. So I'll probably get rid of Tentara Fu for that if I don't get something else first. Oh, you don't get told about it when you come on the stream? Maybe, yeah, I think what Carbon said there is correct, where it only asks you once if you have a Twitch profile. I think if you're a guest, it asks you because obviously you're a guest, so they can't confirm or deny your age there. So, I think you're correct about that, Carbon. And yeah, first rule of Plot Club: we don't talk about Plot Club. Okay, you're at 4,000, Ryuji's at 36. I need to switch Ryuji's abilities over there because he's got shock boost up in the middle of the frickin' active abilities there. Let's not do that. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Cool. Alright, let's move on. Yeah, that's my point. I usually try not to explicitly focus on it too much because it's, again, I would rather, well, in that case, I would rather that you guys kind of try to figure it out, but yeah, it's okay. Can you be Pulinpod? Well, one of you's getting critted. Or most of you. Never mind. I don't think we really need to worry that much. Who gets their turn after this? Makoto? Well, then rip. Rip Sandman. You're not my Sandman, so you're not Sandman at all.
Well, on to the next triumph.
Yeah, if there's blatant fan service, then sure, focus on it. But I'm trying to make the fan service less than blatant. I'll make it so that it's if you notice it, it's, you know, it's good for you basically. But you can't unsee it now. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel too about that. So we're all in the same boat now, Dudbun. All right, turn your back. There you go. I knew you could do it. Another electromagnetic one. I didn't get one of those.
Got it?
When the
These are your
25.
insides? Kinda makes me want to tinker with it anyway.
Well, you already did. Poked them around a bunch, and we saw what happened there. I was gonna say same as last time, but no. Apparently, some of the Sandmen got their turns first, so that doesn't help. A little Harisen recovery would have helped there too, but it's okay. Well, we're getting another crit, so that's fine. Be able to eliminate them after this too. Goodbye.
You're pretty good, bud. Done here. Let's go.
Yeah. We don't want Curiosity to kill this cat. That would not be good. This cat is a pretty important member of our party, as much as he doesn't want you to know that. How did you get here? There we go. He just popped up out of nowhere there. It's like he crept up out of nowhere. All around. Okay, 2 paths left to explore, so let's go look at those first. Probably just like some treasure rooms or something. Or a room with nothing in it, that also could happen.
Hey, does anyone want to go shopping with me? I need someone to carry my bags.
Didn't I already
Let us
do
go.
that?
I will accompany you if and only if you agree to be my model.
He's got your number there, Anne. Oh boy. I need to heal actually. Yusuke's a little. That's the only thing with physical skills is that when you're using them in dungeons there, you occasionally might forget
Like an echoing elevator.
that you need to heal them off, and so that makes things a little tricky sometimes. Because then you'll go into battle and you'll be like, oh, why can't I use these physical? Oh, I forgot to heal. Well, shit. Okay, and we've reached the first rest area of the Path of Exariath. This path is a little bit longer than other ones, so this one has a couple of rest areas, so that's why we got to it so quickly. Yes, did show up quicker. So now we can quick travel here.
Let's rest for a few.
Yes, I will be fighting the Reaper when I'm a higher level. He's pretty nuts to fight right around now. He's pretty bad. He's pretty bad, but there's a way to make him more manageable later in the game, and I will be showing that off. As for fighting him legitimately, probably not till New Game Plus. He's just that bad. So I'll show you kind of what he's all about later. I'm just gonna stop checking this Mementos message because I could have sworn they had more things to say about it, but
What are your thoughts?
apparently not.
Well,
What are your thoughts?
Well, anyway, let's keep exploring. We'll save here, and then we'll head down to the next area, which is where our final request for the day is, and then we can go from there. I can get that one done, then we'll load up this save file, and then I'll show you the results of my labor on the other one. Is it possible to recruit Reaper? No, but that would be fucking awesome. If you could recruit the Reaper to do your bidding, that would be fantastic. The dude has access to like so many different skills, it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, they'd have to, you know, nerf him somehow if he was player recruitable, but yeah, it's not quite like it is in some other Shin Megami Tensei games. Like in the game that I mentioned previously, Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, you can actually recruit most of the bosses in the game by fusing them together later on, but so you can essentially recruit the bosses that way. But unfortunately, in Persona 5, some bosses are not recruitable. Think of Reaper sort of like he's sort of akin to a main palace boss, except on steroids, essentially. So.
On the railroad,
Oh God,
all the
Ryuji.
livelong day.
Enough with that. We've basically been here all the livelong day.
Yeah, we have, man. Oh boy.
There's an enemy.
Well, he's a little higher leveled, isn't he? What do we got? Ah, Paisaka. It figures. We got an ambush, so I can kind of just take my time with this. And Saizo's next, and these guys are weak to light, as we demonstrated with the previous Mementos boss. So, they're also weak to fire, but yeah, I got a multi-targeting light skill, so let's just use that. Yeah, the Mew under the truck might be a good way of referencing it. It's a mythological thing that could potentially happen, and there's probably rumors spread about it happening, but it's not possible, so. Yeah, I think that would kind of creep me out too there, Dud Pun.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it there, Carbon. It would be nice to have him, but considering how much of an asshole he can be, I honestly think that I wouldn't want to recruit him, because I feel like if I could, I'd probably just get him killed multiple times over for killing me multiple times over, so. That being said, when we get to Persona 3 Portable, we'll get our revenge on the Reaper, don't you worry about that. Because there's a way to cheese the shit out of him, not only on this game, but there's a way to cheese the shit out of him on Persona 3 Portable and make it look legit, even though there's a way to cheese him on this game too, but it's not as legit as the way that you do it in Persona 3 Portable. In Persona 3 Portable, it takes all game to get ready to do it, and then it's satisfying as hell when you do it, so. Oh, I'm sure there have been people that have modded it. There's one dude on YouTube, his name is Shrine Fox, I think it is.
Okay.
He does a ton of different mods for the Persona games, so he's probably done something with it, so. Yusuke, how are you doing compared to Ryuji now? 28, 27, okay, we're close. We're very close. But yeah, I'm sure there's people who've modded the game to get that sort of stuff. Ah, there's a shadow in here. That chest is locked. We're not going to get that one. I have chosen not to unlock chests in Mementos that are locked because I'd rather save my lockpicks. So.
One enemy, and it's weak. This'll be a slaughter.
Let's go.
So, Mind Slice a Go-Go to get confused on you? Yep, there we go. Cool. That way Isis doesn't do any crazy shit like Makara Karn or something, but now we can just beat her up. Bat! And that takes care of that.
Continue. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Done already? How disappointing.
Is this another one that's locked? Maybe.
Oh.
I guess they're both locked. Well, you know what? Actually, we're not using this save file, so I'm using the one that I already saved on. So, to hell with it. We'll open the chest and see what we can get. Got a measure collar. Okay. And in this one, in door number 2, we can get an Atlas anklet. I think that's more strength. Excuse me, more strength than the other anklets we've gotten. Let's see. Yeah, that's a lot more strength than we've gotten previously. Okay, well. So there's your first plus 10 accessory there. These accessories with the plus 10 for a given stat are the only accessories that can really rival the SP adhesives or the HP patches there for your party members, because they give such high stats out of this. So it's a pretty good accessory, but I think I'm gonna stick with the other stuff. So the only problem I have with the plus 10 accessories is that there's only one that you can get in the game that's absolutely 100% guaranteed, and the rest of them are random drops from treasure chests. So yeah, that makes a bit of a difference in terms of how available they are, and since they're not necessarily available for everyone, I don't want to use them. I'd rather use the ones that are available for anybody to use, you know what I mean? So that measure collar is quite a bit better, and it gives him luck plus 5. Well, that's a pretty good find. Because luck plus 5 obviously makes it so that he can hit with lucky punch more often with the crits. So yeah, lockpicking probably around now, because now of course we're closer to, this area is closer to our level in terms of the gear that we can get. It's a little bit easier to justify using that stuff.
I've got this. Panther's cheering gives me a turbo boost.
You can't dash, Morgana, unfortunately. Sorry to say, man. I know that Anne's cheering is giving you a turbo boost, but that's not exactly how the mechanics work.
Now's our chance. Beat him up.
And then, Mitra, do your thing. Sweet.
Now, let's continue. Just like I thought.
And I think Yusuke should be pretty close now to being on par with Ryuji.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. How close are you? 23, 24. Okay, about 100 out. That's fine. Might get it from the next shadow, actually. Well, depends. Let's try to get out of his sight first. And goodbye. Guess we won't get it from him today, will we? Okay, so there's the thing. Let's go this way first. There's the platform down, but we don't want that right now. What we want is this door. To take care of this final request. Let me top everybody off. Do I need to? Yeah, I do. Let me top everybody off real quick. We'll still have plenty of SP for this fight, so don't worry about it.
Then
although this will probably be the toughest of the bosses that we can fight here, because of the fact that obviously it's on the Path of Xariath, which is a higher level than other places, so the shadow here will be a little trickier than the other ones. Yeah, we need to stop him from cheating and ruining other people's fun in that Gunabout game. Who do I want for this one? Probably Guy's Night Out, I think. We'll use this team. That should work. What would I say my #1 favorite persona is? That's a tricky one. There's a lot of good personas that I personally prefer. I will be using one that I like a ton later on in this particular playthrough, so I won't mention that one, but there's just so many to list that I don't know if I could really pick one. I'll give you one that I'm not going to be using on this playthrough. I'll probably be using it when we do Persona 4. I think it's pronounced Sraosha. It's Sraosha is how it's spelled. It's kind of weird. It's a funky, like, I think it's a Zoroastrian god or something like that, but it's pretty badass looking. I like it a lot. So that one's one of my favorites. But basically, that's what I'm going to focus on when I'm focusing on the personas that I'm going to use at the end game here, is I'm going to be focusing on personas that I personally like, rather than personas that are just the best. Like, you won't see me using Yoshitsune, you won't see me using Rangda or Girame Kala, you won't see me using Odin, or Shiva, or what are other ones that people use all the time? Abaddon. God, I can't think of any other ones. I won't be using any of the DLC personas as my endgame personas there, but I will use them for other things. So, Set is pretty good too, and also hi Derek, how you doing? Yeah, I like Set as well. He's pretty cool. I don't end up using him at the end game for this game. I think I used him in the end game for Persona 3 though, so I might end up using him later. Yeah, there's a lot of OP personas out there, so Satan's one of them. Is Hellel in this game? I forget. I know Lucifer's in this game, so you could use him. But yeah, there's a ton of OP personas that you can use in the end game, and I'm going to try not to use many of them at all. I'm going to use personas that are good, don't worry about that, but we're mostly going to use personas that are slightly lower level than some of the ultimate ones, and we'll strengthen them up with custom movesets using the Gallows. So we'll basically be using what I did with Shikioji at the beginning of this stream to kind of proliferate that into our ultimate personas. You'll see when I get there. I'll make sure that I show it off as we go. Well, that's because you're using cheat codes, dude. Maybe so. I mean, the winners do write the history books, but they don't write the history books. It's different from when you're cheating in a video game, dude. I mean, you can cheat in a real-life war and, you know, get away with it as a brilliant strategist. In a video game, I'm not so sure. Favorite partner personas? Definitely Johanna for Makoto is one of my favorites, and I don't like her promoted one as much as that. I do like Satan Taisei. He's pretty cool. I like the fact that he got a redesign in this game, because before he was just kind of a dude with a staff on a cloud. He was kind of like Sun Wukong or Son Goku from Journey to the West, basically, in previous games, but he was kind of bland, really. In this game, he's badass, man. He's got spikes coming out of everywhere. He's got a giant pole with spikes coming out of that. He's pretty cool. You liked Captain Kid over the new one? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Captain Kid is pretty damn cool. But I've had experience previously with Satan Taisei to say, hey, he's much better in this game than he is in other games, so. Wonder why they highlighted wound me there. That's interesting. Well, we'll have to figure it out later. For now, we gotta beat up this dude who metamorphosed into an Osu. You're pushing an onion chicken persona.
I'm the most powerful.
Ain't
no matter what you throw my way, you won't put a scratch on me.
What the hell kind of accent is that? It's like you're trying to be Japanese and Deep South American at the same time. Not South American, but like from the Deep South in the United States.
I'm not
so. That's a pretty good persona there, Derek. That's you could do like the bonus boss has a bunch of those low-level personas that. Yes, I get it. It's a cheetah man. Yeah, I good pun, guys. Good pun. Go back to the drawing board now for more puns later. But you could do like what the bonus boss does, where it has a lot of low-level personas, but they're like ridiculously powerful with their skills. So that's an option for you. I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want because of Gallows in this game in terms of getting personas. So. Okay, well, first things first, I'm going to take this guy fairly seriously, so let's Masuka Kaja everybody, just to make sure that everybody has some extra evasion there. It'll help out, trust me. And then, let's use Terukaja on Yusuke. I feel like if we can knock him down, we might be able to get a Rising Slash off on him. I don't think he's weak to anything in particular, but we might get okay with a Lucky Punch here. Well, that didn't work. Tempest Slash a go-go. Excuse me? I definitely Masuka Kaja there. Well, his cheating thing did say that he can't be hit. That's kind of the gimmick of the boss fight, is that he can't be hit. Let's use Maraku Kaja to make sure that we all live to see the end of this fight. Yeah, accuracy up, quote unquote, yeah. Swift Strike? Let's see if you can dodge lightning. Damn, he's also played Final Fantasy X. Crap, what am I gonna do now? Well, spells are usually fairly accurate, right? Apparently not. Bufala? I kind of want to try, oh, nice. Nice dodge. I kind of want to try Pulimpa, but I feel like I need to heal. Well, no, Morgana's going to get a turn, so let's try Pulimpa. Let's get Sandman out here. Yeah, nope. No dice. Assault dive? Nope. This is scripted, by the way. I think you have to get through 3 turns of him basically shitting all over your accuracy parade before you can finish the fight, so... Oh, does it give you PTSD? Yeah, it's, I haven't personally experienced that yet, but I do plan on playing Final Fantasy X for the stream at one point, so, we'll be experiencing it together there, Derek, so... Yeah, Dudbun. Fool me once, I'm mad. Fool me twice, I'll kill you. Fool me 3 times, and you're officially that guy, okay? It's the one who you always see in the story says, this is Giorgio Armani, acts my dad knows him. Fuck you! I ain't having that shit! Did I just hit him with counter? Did it miss, or did it actually hit him? I forget. If it does, then holy fuck, I need to get a repel persona for this fight. No. I think it missed, though, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Let's see if he has any buffs. Let's just use... Oh no, Dekun does that. Dekaja is the one that gets rid of buffs. Do I have Dekaja? I don't think I do. I had Dekaja on Neko Shogun. Yeah, what the hell. No need to use that, damn. Well, he doesn't have buffs then. I don't know what to do at this point, so let's just do this. Bless boost? Don't fail me now? Damn.
I told you it's useless. There's no way you can win against me.
Look at him, acting all smug because of his cheats.
He's hiding behind a wall of no physical.
Can't do
Actually, it's
anything
100% evade physical.
Let's retreat for now and rethink our approach.
Okay, we can come back. Damn, though. He was really dodgy. How the hell am I supposed to beat that guy? Oh, you played the remake to Platinum it? Blitzball? Yeah, I've never done too much with Blitzball. I'll have to, again, that'll be something we'll experience when I play Final Fantasy X for the stream, so we'll see. I've heard a lot of terrible, nightmarish things about how much stuff you have to do in order to do most of the things for completion in Final Fantasy X, so we'll see if I decide I want to do that stuff. Typically, if it takes too long and it tries my patience, I'm just like, screw it, I'll get done with the game regardless, but, we'll see when I get there. I'm not going to judge until I get there. Oh yeah, the card game, Final Fantasy VIII. I plan on playing that card game somewhat in Final Fantasy VIII, at least enough to get some of the exploitative stuff from it. I do have a plan, though, for when I play Final Fantasy VIII, to where I don't overpower the shit out of myself on the first disc, because you can totally do that with the card game. But I have a plan for how I'm going to work it, and I'll explain it when I get to Final Fantasy VIII. It'll be later, much later, because I don't think I'm going to get to it anytime soon. So maybe because he sees himself as a cheater and he can't be beat out in the real world, in the metaverse, he has the same thought process. So if we can figure out a way to get him to not be a cheating bastard in the real world, then maybe we can do something about that cheat in here. Okay. First 20 games or so are nice, but it gets repetitive. I can see that. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, you can definitely, if you make people dodge tanks, you can definitely break the game. And there are skills in this game that can make people into dodge tanks. A lot later down the line, we can get access to a skill called Angelic Grace, which increases our dodging ability for all magical attacks. There's also Ali Dance, which increases our dodge rate by having the hit rate for all enemy attacks. There are armor pieces that you can get that make your evasion higher, so we can turn into evasion tanks later on in the game quite a bit. So there are better methods, I think, than that in order to be super OP, because there's an ability called Firm Stance that just cuts the damage that you take in half, and that stacks with an accessory that also cuts the damage you can take in half, so it just depends on if you want to be an evasion tank or not, so... I have streamed Final Fantasy 1. I'm planning on going through the whole series eventually. I've streamed Final Fantasy 1, and probably towards the end of this year, it's a little bit down the line because I have a lot of projects lined up. But somebody suggested that I play Final Fantasy 14. So when we get to that suggestion on my stream suggestions list, I'll be playing that one. I do plan on playing them all eventually. It's going to take a long time though, because there's a lot of hours worth of game to get through there. But so yeah, 14's the MMO. Yep. But you can actually check out the Final Fantasy 1 stream over on my channel there, Dreamwalker. It's on YouTube. It got deleted off of Twitch because the videos are more than 60 days old, but yeah, it's gone there. Oh, you just saw the lightning? Oh boy. Well, hopefully it doesn't, like, do anything unfortunate there, Dudbun, like knock out your power or something like that. That would pretty much suck. Well, anyway, the dude evades all incoming damage, so we gotta do something about that. Yep. Right, true.
Well...
Okay, so basically we have to figure out how to make him not feel, well, not be invincible in reality, and once that happens, he'll not be invincible in here because his cognition will change. So once we get to that. It's the only one of the normal numbered ones you haven't played? Gotcha. Yeah, it's, I haven't played, which ones have I not played? I haven't played, any of 8, any of 9. I've played the first 2 or 3 hours of 10, and that's it. I haven't played 10-2 either. I never played 11, although I heard that one's still going on. That might be the only mainline Final Fantasy that we never get to, because I don't know if I'll actually be able to play that one. It might be done. The servers might be gone by the time I get to it, which will be years down the line. I haven't played 14, and I've played the first 2 or 3 hours of 15, and that's it, so... Yeah, I've never really been able to get into MMOs myself, but I feel like if I have to for the stream, I definitely will go ahead and do it. And I have a plan for how I'm going to play it. I'm not going to play it religiously for a long time, so... Never played 7, really? That's surprising. I don't think I've ever met anybody online who's played other Final Fantasies who's never played 7. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Dudbun. If you've got friends, it's a lot easier to get into it there. I think you're right about that. I think I've been kind of told something similar to that for 15 there, Dreamwalker. I have, like I said, I've played the first 2 or 3 hours of it, but I haven't played much of it. I'm kind of waiting for it to be a full and complete game before I play it, even though I know it's going to be like a 200 or 250 hour project to do at that point. I might even break it up into multiple parts because of how long the game is going to be. It's going to be ridiculous when I get to that. But anyway, yeah, so we're done with the requests. Obviously, we can't finish Winners Don't Use Cheats today. We have to go out in reality to figure out how to finish that one off, but we'll finish it the next time we come into Mementos. So that means that we can load up my other save file where all the money grinding is done. So this is how much money I've got right now. I mean, it's a ton, and we won't need this amount before the next time we need the money grind, but if we load this up. 7 was your first? Yeah, 7 was my first as well, although I only played that one until the train graveyard, and then I was like, I think I was like 8 years old, and the train graveyard was scary, man, when I was 8 years old. I couldn't get through it just because of how scary it was. And it sounds weird to say that nowadays, considering that games have come so far in terms of graphical fidelity and all those other things. Train graveyard spooked the shit out of me when I was an 8-year-old kid. You'll wait for the PS4 remake. That makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of getting that idea with 15 because they're adding so much to it. A lot of people are kind of like, well, I'll wait till it's finished and then we'll go from there. You don't feel like replaying it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll play it eventually. Just not gonna do it just yet. I know it's a big commitment, so that's why I'm kind of like, eh. Okay, Conker. Well, you've seen me play. I think you've seen me play some of the Final Fantasy 1. You were here for some of that, so you'll see me play basically all of them eventually, as long as you when you're sticking around there. 7 is pretty good there, Dudbun. It's one of my favorites in the series, so Yeah, I've gotten that impression there, Dreamwalker, that it's kind of a strange game, but I played Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped myself when I was younger, but I think I'm gonna get the Insane Trilogy sometime because I feel like I might enjoy those. It might be a nice blast from the past because Warped was a pretty good game. So, money grinding there, Derek. I used the Pulinpa exploit where you can confuse the sub-bosses in Mementos in order to get a ton of money. I've spread it out because a bunch of bosses are vulnerable to confuse in Mementos, but that's not all because I did some money grinding from this particular session, so we will now show you what happened after that money grinding session there. So now we have a little more cash to throw around, about another 1,000,000 yen to throw around there. You saw part of one. Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, no rush on that, Conquer. I know it's a lot. Along with watching these streams, that's a lot of games to get through. So don't worry about it. I would do only what you can do. It's not really necessary. If you want to watch it, cool. If not, I'm okay with that. That's cool. Especially if you don't have enough time to watch it. That's fine. Yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, I'm definitely getting the Spyro trilogy that's coming out later this year, so I'll probably get the Insane trilogy as well when I get that. So, have I played Nier? No, I have not played Nier or Nier Automata. Nier Automata was on my suggestions list at one point, but my brother decided he wanted to change the game that he suggested. But I probably will play Nier Automata at some point in the future. I don't know if I'll play the first Nier. Maybe. A few friends have told me that it's kind of eh. So... yeah, there really, to be honest with you, Derek, there isn't so much use for this much money. Like, there's no reason to have this much. I just sort of ended up with this much because basically what I do when I do the Pulinpa grinding is I have the bosses throw money at me about between 10 and 15 times, and I just spread it out over the course of the game. So I end up with a ton of cash by the end of the game. I do use a lot of it by the end of the game for fusions and stuff, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, the 500k that you got, that's pretty much all that you need. It's not really that much. So, I mean, it's not that necessary. It depends on the fusions you're going to do. So, I have a few fusions in mind that will cost a lot of money to do, though, so... couldn't get into Spyro yourself? Yeah, it was, I played Spyro 2 before I played Crash 3, so it was kind of like, I got into it more because it was sort of my first impression with platformers on the PlayStation, so that was why I got into it so much. Oh, has it? Then yeah, Conquer, just do what you can, man. I appreciate everything that you do, so don't overdo it. Definitely focus on your school stuff. I know it's probably, like you said, been kicking your ass, so definitely focus on doing that first, and only do what you can do here. I don't need you to, tire yourself out or anything about it, because you're trying to, see all the streams and do that stuff. Just do what you can, man. I appreciate anything you do. Yeah, I 100%'ed Spyro 2. I'd never played Spyro 1 or Spyro 3 though, so I'll have to get on those when I get the trilogy. Anyway, yeah, so the 3,000,000 yen that we got there, that's not the only thing that I did over the course of the money grinding there. I also mentioned that I took care of that Shikioji that I showed on my Twitter the other day. So this is the end result Shikioji that you get when you Gallows strengthen it over and over again. This is a Shikioji with no weaknesses. It nullifies a large majority of the elements that we'll come in contact with later on. It has high luck, it has Pulinpa and Tentarafu, plus ambient aid and confuse boost in order to boost up its likelihood of inflicting confuse. And the bosses that I'm going to confuse in order to money grind from here on out in the game are just going to be the ones that have physical damage only. I'm not going to bother with other ones. There are other ones that can be confused, and I'll note them, but I'm not going to confuse them to money grind on them. I'm just going to confuse them explicitly to make those fights easier. There are 2 instances where I will confuse them because they're physically oriented, and I will use it for money grinding, but I'll note those as well when I get to them. Yeah, I can definitely see that, Derek. It's a lot easier, I think, to do fusions in New Game Plus. There's a couple of personas that I'd like to fuse in regular New Game to get some ultimate equipment, especially for the main character. And the one in particular for some of his ultimate equipment requires that I fuse like 6 separate personas all at very high levels in order to even have a chance of fusing that one. So that's where a lot of our money is going to go later on, especially considering in order to fuse those you have to keep buying stuff back and refusing and buying and refusing. You end up using up like hundreds of thousands of yen just to fuse this one persona. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's worth it. So especially if I have all this money kicking around. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so last thing we'll do today, I think that if we start on the Hawaii trip today, we won't get a chance to save it for quite a while, and we've been going for almost 3 hours at this point, so we'll just finish up here. But last thing I'm going to do today, we're going to check out some of those endgame personas over here in the Velvet Room. Now, with that Shikioji, I will be Gallows strengthening it a little bit more over the course of the game as we go. I'll occasionally stop off at the Velvet Room to get some stuff to strengthen it. I'd like to get it to like level 45, and I think that's about where I'm going to stop. It should have about 40 luck at that point, so then we should be good. Oh, you still need level 10 strength in the Strength Confidant? Yeah, gotcha. I'll be getting that not soon, but before the end of this new game cycle, I'll be getting rank 10. I'll be getting every Confidant maxed out, hopefully. I'm like 99.9% sure that I'll be able to do it by the end of this new game, but we'll see when we get there. But Strength, I definitely will, so.
How fares your progress in our game?
But yeah, I'll get Shikioji up to like level 45, and that's where I think I'll stop with him, because he really doesn't need any stats beyond that. We'll get plenty of...
You'd like to read the compendium?
We don't need to register anything. Okay. Well, I guess the first thing I could do is I could show off some of the DLC personas that you can get here. So, Thanatos and Thanatos Picaro, I will actually... Well, actually, Thanatos Picaro I won't be using at all, but Thanatos Regular has Ma'aigayan and Curse Amp, which I will be putting on the persona that I need for curse damage later on in the game. I think it's just easier, to be honest with you, to get it from Thanatos than it is to get it from other things. So I'll be using it for that. Asterius and Asterius Picaro are kind of ridiculous. This is what regular Asterius looks like. He's freaking cool, man. I really like the look of this guy. But I won't be using him as a regular persona there. I will be using him to help me create a better Tri-Auto persona later on in the game because, yeah, it shows it here. One of his new skills that you can get later on is Auto Materu, which is like Attack Master, except it overrides Attack Master and gives everyone in your party Terukaja. And then Asterius Picaro gets Auto Masuku, so then all we gotta do is get Auto Maraku, and I can have a persona that basically gives my party 3 free turns of every buff in the game. So we'll be getting that later, though. I'm not gonna summon any of these DLC personas until I get to the level that they're at. I won't be worrying about that just yet. Excuse me. Oh, okay, gotcha, Derek. Yeah, I'll be trying to get everything up on mine there. I'll be trying to get everybody to rank 10, but we'll see from there. Yes, my Paperman does have more luck than these massive demon things. I know. I've specifically tried to get Shikioji's luck up with every Gallows strengthened, so that's why he's like that. Luck isn't a stat that's super high towards the late game. Like if you have 40 luck in the late game, you're probably fine. So, plus I think Asterius has lower luck than usual for most personas. Like later on, I mean Tsukiyomi also has lower luck, but yeah, some of them have kind of low luck. It's not a big deal, though, because they don't need it that badly. I mean, all it does is affect whether or not you can get hit with criticals, so it's not a huge deal. Tsukiyomi gets Curse Amp as well, but he doesn't get Ma'aigayan by level up, so that's why I'd rather use Thanatos for that. That's why I downloaded the Thanatos DLC. Yeah, some of them are a little difficult to spell and pronounce there, so it's I completely understand there. Some of them do have exclusive skills, though, too. Like, Tsukiyomi has Abyssal Wings here, which deals lots of curse damage to all foes. It's better than Ma'aigayan in terms of the damage it deals, but it does cost 30 SP to use, so there is that. I will say this about Tsukiyomi Picaro. He kind of, to be honest with you, kind of reminds me of the Hunter from Bloodborne when you pick the Hunter's Axe as your starting weapon. But that's neither here nor there. just a resemblance that I noticed myself there. Anyway,
Time for some
so how do I show these off? Okay, so let's go to Advanced Fusion and we can kind of show some of these off. So these two we've already done there. Bugs we've seen as a boss previously. So, and you can see Xenoblade in the first one. Gotcha. Looks like he's from Final Fantasy. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean about that. I think, according to the pronunciation in this game, his name is Hecaton Kairez. I don't know if that's exact or accurate, but anyway, yeah, that's... I definitely get it, though. It's definitely not a natural name. It's a tongue twister, for sure. Anyway, so we've seen Bugs as a boss previously, so we don't really need to go back to him. I could show you. He's the teddy bear dude that we've seen before, who also gets Auto Materu. So if you want to get that legit, rather than downloading it in a DLC, you could get it from him. But I just find that it takes too long to get the other two autos if you don't... if you do it legit. Or you just end up waiting until the end game to find a Hope Diamond, which has all of the tri-auto moves on it. So here's Vasky. He's not an endgame Hanged Man persona, but he's pretty high on the list there. The only problem with these guys, of course, is that you can only see their silhouettes. You can't see what they actually look like, which is a little unfortunate. He's pretty good, though. He has, you know, some decent negations there. If I had wanted to have an ice and electric persona, like to have Bufu and Zio on one particular persona, I'd probably pick this guy because he has those nulls there. Black Frost is like Jack Frost, except bigger and more demonic, basically. We'll get him. He's used for a... I'm going to use him to make a weapon later on with the electric chair. Throne is a pretty badass persona. I like this guy a lot, too. He's probably one of my favorites. I won't end up using him, but it's basically an angel strapped to a flaming wheel, and that's fucking badass. Like... I used this guy in Persona 3 as one of my endgame personas. I strengthened him using the card system in that game, and he was ridiculous. He had 99 magic and like 99 agility. It was ridiculous, man. Alice is pretty good there, Derek. Yeah, I do like Alice a lot, so... Yeah, Throne is one of my favorites. I really, honestly, I usually like most of the Justice personas there. The high-end ones, anyway. Some of them I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, you're a high angel like Uriel and Michael and Raphael. It's like, whatever, guys. But this guy is pretty cool. So, what else we got? Here's another one. Speaking of Michael, here's Michael. The thing about him is just like, how do you compete with this? Like, this is a lower-end Justice persona. Now, this is Judgment, Michael is. But he's just an angel with a spear. Like... Come on, you could get more, you could do more than that. Like, you've got another angel here who's strapped to a flaming wheel, and then you just have this guy. Like, come on, man. You could do better than that. So, and there's Set. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. It's like Egyptian myth, you don't pronounce the H, you pronounce the T like a hard T. So... Yeah, Alice is, Alice in this game, I think they mentioned that it's the Alice from Alice in Wonderland, except it's the messed up version that was the book, rather than the Disney version. The Disney version, they kind of made her a lot less, I don't want to say bloodthirsty, but I kind of do at the same time. She's bloodthirsty in this game anyway, so... Yeah, Set is pretty cool. He's basically just a big, giant, shadowy dragon. And he's pretty cool. We'll be fusing him later on as a part of the Twins Confidant, so we'll definitely get to see him later. And we'll also get to be seeing... We won't be seeing Osiris, but we'll be seeing Horus as well, alongside him later. Here's Trumpeter, the guy that basically comes down and says that Armageddon's happening. He's pretty cool. You fuse him using all of the different Rider personas, so like White Rider, Pale Rider, Black Rider, Red Rider, that sort of thing. And he, incidentally, is he's the first persona that you can get the Debilitate skill, which is kind of like, it basically lowers all three of the stats for one foe. So it's a really good skill to have, and I'm definitely going to be fusing Trumpeter in order to get that skill. So look forward to that. We'll be fusing him later. Here's Asura, who we got from Yoshida's Confidant there, getting him all done. He doesn't quite have the same badass look that he had in Asura's Wrath, but I don't think you can really compare the two, so... Oh yeah, the skill card there. Make sure you do that one Mementos request for, I forget if it's one that Mishima gives you as part of his Confidant, or if it's just one that he gives you regularly. But I think he gives it to you on the 14th of October, and that's where I'm going to get the high counter skill card from. So, I mean, you can fuse around and get it onto set in other ways, but I'm going to get it from that skill card, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's Asura. Here's Yoshitsune, the single best persona in the entire frickin' game. We've talked about him in our classes before in school at Shujin there, but he's a little more badass in the game than he is in the myths there, because, well, he doesn't have it here, but he has all of those good resistances there. You can give him a bunch of other good ones. He has really high strength and agility, and eventually he'll get a skill that's even better than Brave Blade, which deals colossal physical damage. He gets a skill that deals not colossal physical damage, but it might as well be colossal physical damage, because it's light physical damage, but 8 times to all enemies. And you can get the skill Charge on him immediately. So as you can imagine, using Charge and that skill, which is called Hasutobi, he's pretty busted. And I'm not going to be using him because he's so busted. So he gets pretty ridiculous. Oh, okay, yeah, the October story block does take a while to get through there, Derek. It uses almost like half the month, I think, so I feel your pain on that one. Oh, here he is. Here's Shraosha. I can't show him off and show what he actually looks like in the game, but he's a pretty cool dude, and he is a part of Zoroastrian lore, just like I was saying. It's kind of like an angel dude, but he's got this really cool, like, neon blue, like, aquamarine look to him. He almost looks like a jewel, basically, but he has wings, obviously. So he's a pretty cool dude. He gets all of the high-end light elemental attacks, so I would use him for light elemental attacks. The only problem, there's 2 problems with it. First of all, he's level 80, so I have to get to level 80 before I can really use him. That I'll say that with a little asterisk, because there's an exception to that rule that I'll get into later when we actually get to the exception. But the other issue that I have is that because he's level 80, I can't Gallows strengthen him as much as the persona that I'm actually going to use for light elemental attacks, which I'm going to get like around level 50. And because I'm getting it so much in an early level and I'm going to use Gallows to strengthen it, by the time I get that persona to level 80, it'll have higher magic and agility and every other stat than Shraosha has here. So it's a good persona. I really like it, but I don't see myself using it in this game. In Persona 4, I would really like to use it because it's the highest leveled Justice persona. And the Justice social link in Persona 4 is really important and near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to want to use that one, but we'll go from there. Yes, basically, Derek, that's exactly it. With the 8-hit skill, it's called, like I said, it's called Hasutobi. Charge, and then the Heat Riser ability. He just decimates the entire game. It's ridiculous. Like, they even nerfed him in this game. He was even more powerful in Persona 4 Golden, because Hasutobi did more damage than it does in this game. They nerfed how much damage it does in this game, but he's still busted as fuck. Like, I'm not going to use him. It's too much. It's too much for this game. I just want to make sure this game is slightly challenging, you know? Oh, okay, gotcha, Derek. Yeah, definitely use the Gallows more, though, because it's a really good resource for you there, so I would use it. And then we've got Caillou, which we got from, and no, not that one, which we got from Ryuji's Confidant getting maxed out there. He has a lot of weapons. I think he has an axe in there somewhere. Yeah, you can kind of see it. The shadow kind of makes it difficult, though. Spear, sword, shield. I think that's it. But he is a master of war, basically. And he has Repel Fizz right off the bat, which is ridiculous. He also has Psycho Force, which is the highest end single target psionic skill. He's pretty cool. I like him a lot too. So I don't think we'll be fusing him because I think, yeah, if I remember right, and I do because I'm looking at it right here, you have to fuse Yoshitsune in order to even get Caillou. You can't fuse Yoshitsune until the last day of the regular game here, and Yoshitsune requires that you max out the Magician Confidant with Morgana in order to get Futsunushi there. So there's a lot of stipulations in order to even get Caillou, and by the time we get him, he's not really going to be that worth it. He's pretty cool if you decide to make him, but I'm not going to be using him. There's another physical persona that I'm going to be using that I don't know if he's as badass as Caillou, but he's a lot of fun. And I'll explain why he's a lot of fun when we get access to him, but we don't have access to him right now. And that's it for right now. We'll get access to more advanced fusions later on in the game as we max out more confidants there. So I'll try to show them off as we get there, especially when I can actually fuse them and show what they look like. Then it'll be good to look at them. Yeah, he's literally the end of the end game persona, basically, because you have to fuse so many damn things in order to get him. Like, Hecaton Kyrez will get, White Rider will get, Thor will get, Cachulian or Quekleon or however this freaking Kekleon down there, we'll get him. We'll get those 4. But Yoshitsune is hard to fuse, and you need all of these things to fuse Yoshitsune, and you need Futsunushi, and I think Futsunushi requires a bunch of other personas to fuse him, so it's just like... It's too much work. It really is to get Caillou. As much as I like Caillou's design, it's just too much work.
You change your mind? Are you
So.
finished?
Yeah, there's that. Yep, done in here.
No slacking off.
Okay, so I've shown off some of the endgame personas. I've shown you the ridiculousness of the Shikioji that I created, and as you can see, it will definitely be helpful. I'm still going to hold on to Isis so that I can do Makoto's Confidant a little bit easier there, so I can get as many points as I can with advancing her Confidant. But other than Shikioji, I'll be fusing a different persona in a little while, where I have Attack Master, Defense Master, and Speed Master all on one. But I'll probably keep Shikioji in my persona stock for the rest of the game until I'm done with all the money grinding that I want to do there. Maybe New Game Plus, Dudbun. Yeah, maybe New Game Plus. It might be more feasible there because I can fuse a lot more things there. I'll have access to my entire compendium on New Game Plus, and I'll probably have a bunch of money laying around, so it'll probably be a little bit easier. But that's going to be all for today's episode of Persona 5, the Stream Edition. Come back next time, and we will finally go on the Hawaii trip so that we can take these swimsuits off in mementos and actually start moving on with the plot of the game. I'm going to be posting the new schedule for next week shortly after I am done here. You can check out that schedule on my Twitter page. It'll be pinned to my Twitter profile, but you can also check it out below the stream feed here on Twitch if you just scroll down a little bit. So in a few minutes, I'll make sure I post that up. But until the next time, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I will see all of you on the next one. Take care, and have a good night. Oh, almost forgot. Hold on one second. I have to replay a new follow that we got before I go here today. Let me just go over to Streamlabs and replay that so I can thank him for it. Or her. I don't know which. Let's see. So yes, Rad Spider, thank you for following the stream. I appreciate it. Even though you followed like 8 hours ago now, so I couldn't see it before then. But thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, now we're done.